Okay, it should be live.
You watched a movie called Papi Chulo?
Yeah. I guess we're getting into the recently watched.
I was just curious. I've never heard of the movie, and then you just wrote, huh.
Yeah.
Did you mean it like,
No,
huh?
like
or like
I guess with
huh?
the question mark, like, huh?
Yeah, okay, that's, yeah.
It's Oh, well, I guess. What's up, film fans?
Welcome to episode
Welcome back.
16, right? 16?
We took a bit of a break.
16.
Sorry, I guess it was on me.
Sorry.
It was
You're
on
good.
all of us.
But we're back, I guess. But yeah, so what was it? The Wednesday, I went to go visit my dad in California. I guess he just at nighttime he likes to like go on Showtime or HBO. He has those channels.
Yeah.
And he just watches a movie or whatever. And so he just put on this one. It's called Papi Chulo. And I guess I don't know how to describe it. It's it takes place in Los Angeles, and the main character is a weatherman, a homosexual weatherman who just got out of a relationship.
Homosexual weatherman.
He hired, you know, like you go to Home Depot and like, you know, all the the Hispanic
The workers
guys,
work outside,
the
yeah.
worker guys are there. And so he goes over and he's just like, he just picks one up one day to help him paint his fucking deck or whatever. And then the movie's just about them, and like it's his. Do you guys mind
Is it
if
like
I
slice of life type?
Yeah, but
Go for it. Yeah. I don't.
do you mind if I spoil it?
Go
or
for
not?
I don't
it.
mind. I don't mind.
Oh, sorry, I'm just playing down underneath my voice just to add
I don't know. I kind of
some
like
emphasis.
it. Yeah.
Sorry, but essentially, it's crazy. You find out that because like he keeps on calling his ex-boyfriend or whatever shit
Yeah.
and leaving messages, and then you find out that his ex-boyfriend was Mexican, and so like he has like this like Mexican fetish, and that's why he's like picking up this dude. But then he keeps on going further, and he keeps on calling this dude's number, but then like the number gets disconnected, and then you find out that the guy actually killed himself, and he was like a straight married man. And
Oh shit.
What the fuck?
and but then he becomes really close friends with the guard, like the fucking like painter guy, and takes him to like this like gay party, like just like a mixer, you know, with just a whole bunch of gay guys. But then like they're riding back in the cab, and then he tries to kiss the dude, and the dude is like, get away from me, you know, and like he stops going to that corner and shit like that. But then the guy tracks him down, and it's the painter's daughter's quinceañera, but the
shit.
guy, he gets a shit ton of stuff happens. Like his phone gets stolen from him, and he gets beat up, and he ends up in a bar and gets really hammered in East LA where the painter guy lives. And then he just shows up at the fucking quinceañera and breaks everything. And it's a strange movie.
How'd it make you feel?
Sounds fun.
Sometimes you watch something and you're surprised that it got made, you know. And, like,
Yeah.
That's how it felt, you know.
I like movies like that.
Me too. That's
It's
why I
just like-
watched the whole
yeah.
thing. Like if
Yeah.
if I didn't like it or at least that type of movie,
You could
I
at
guess
least
that
appreciate
one
it.
seems so. I've never seen something like that. I guess,
Yeah.
right? Not to say it's good or bad. It's just like if you've never seen something like that, you gotta at least say that about it, right?
What was the title you said?
Papi Chulo.
Papi Chulo.
What did you guys
I'm gonna
watch?
check the audio. real quick.
Let me go on Letterboxd real fast.
All right, while you're doing that, I think I told you guys about this, but it just came out on Netflix today. Actually, I think I told you guys about
It's
this.
the
But
show.
it just
It's called
came out on
Sexy
Netflix
Beasts.
today. Actually, I think I told
It's
you guys.
not
It's
a
not a
movie.
movie. I'm just saying shit I watched, but it's like a dating show. It's kind of like The Bachelor, but like everyone's dressed like as a furry or like some type of like it's just like monster makeup on them. And they go on like these dates, and it's you know, it's like, so you like their personality or not, and then whoever they pick, they get to see the real person underneath.
Right.
And it's a really goofy show, but it's fun to watch when you're high.
Didn't you send that to us? Somebody sent that to me.
I might have. You have to watch the trailer for it.
Dude, it's like
Bro, the
really fucking weird.
That's
It's
what
like
I'm-
super weird.
Bro, it seems like the trailer that would be inside of a movie. You know, like the movie
yeah,
characters
yeah.
are watching this
No, yeah,
type of
it's
trailer.
just so weird. It's like, I can't believe, dude, reality shows are getting weird.
Everything is.
Dude, there's this
Look
one-
at my fucking shoes right now, bro.
Oh, we were watching this one reality show. It's like they put a bunch of adults in a house, like all like super good looking adults. They're all like,
Of course.
they're like models and shit. They put them all in a house. It's like, all right, you can't It's like No Nut, this show. It's like, you can't masturbate, you can't have sex, you can't do this and that. But they're like kind of like pair them together, but like not let them fuck. And then the fucking they go, you know, like at the end of the episode, they go around like a campfire, like really like total drama like, and the host is like a fucking like it's an Alexa. Not like an actual Alexa, but it just looks like an Alexa. It's like a robot. It's like the host. I'm like, this is such a weird fucking time for TV shows.
What's it called?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember. But you can just look it up. Just look up reality show where they can't nut.
How do you win? Like they
I don't
just, like-
remember. I would just tune in for like certain scenes. I'm like, this is such a weird fucking show. The shows are getting weird. What'd you watch, Elijah?
I saw this short with Anthony called Gregory Go Boom.
Oh yeah, Gregory Go Boom is cool.
I love
That's
that
funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw Rumblefish.
Oh, okay, cool. Do you wanna?
Yeah.
Anthony,
How-
you haven't seen? Have you seen
I haven't
Rumblefish?
seen
Okay,
it.
don't
Yeah.
spoil
Okay.
it.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you see what I mean?
Art movie for teenagers.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. You know.
Do you get do you get any of the like there's a few moments where it's kind of gothic. Do you get what I'm saying with that?
Kind of like near the end.
I would say yeah, like
There's like a really like
that one really
there's a
artsy
trippy
scene. Yeah,
trippy
that scene,
part. Like
just like his
the-
outfit looks really kind of like almost Frankenstein-y to me.
Does it feel
It's-
like? I imagine, you know, like Francis Ford Coppola directing
Mhm.
it. It's like, yeah, like an MLB player hitting like a wiffle ball. Does it feel like that? In
Yeah.
terms of,
It
like-
feels
Yeah,
kind of
kinda.
like his Dracula movie in a way.
Yeah.
Oh really?
It's very expressionistic.
Yeah.
You know, there's like
For like
there's
a
a lot-
greaser movie. You know?
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of awkward camera angles. There's like those noirish German expressionism
Yeah,
shadows.
yeah.
And it's like funny too because he made The Outsiders before it, and I haven't seen The Outsiders, but from what I've heard about it, it's like kind of like more of a run-of-the-mill movie.
It-
Yeah.
You know?
It's a
kinda like a
coming of age
Yeah,
story.
it's like very Stand By
Yes.
Me.
I like it though.
Yeah.
I
I like it too.
I like the book, I guess though. So.
I like both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this though, you really notice like the filmmaking.
Yeah.
And him trying to
Yeah.
make it like something different visually, you know. Do you think like kids at the time saw it and thought of it like that? You think they understood it?
Some did. Like Harmony Korine talked to Larry Clark about Rumblefish. Like they both really liked that movie.
Yeah.
You have to be a certain kind of kid to really appreciate it, but I can see why that movie didn't blow up.
I can.
You know, it's definitely not.
Rumblefish is like weird in the way it like goes about its theme too.
Yeah.
It doesn't really say anything about like. It doesn't say anything directly about what it's trying to get the viewer to understand.
Yeah, yeah.
You really have to like pick it out for yourself. And I got the Criterion for it, and there's like a really cool interview on there with like this film
Wow.
professor or
Oh,
something,
shit.
and he's talking about how it relates to like Greek mythology, kinda,
I can see that.
and like
yeah.
basically like existentialism.
Mhm.
And I listened to the interview, and it really kind of it makes you think about the movie differently because
Yeah.
it is kind of like an existential crisis movie.
Yeah.
You know, and that's like
I
It's
really
pretty cool.
like that it's like a dumb dude too. Like it's this dumb dude who just like he hangs
Yeah.
out. He admires this smart dude so much. He wants to be like him, but he's smart. It's like you never see a dumb dude trying to be smart. It's so funny.
I
Like-
remember before I finished Rumblefish, I texted something to Norby saying like, could he be like Charles Bukowski? And it was really stupid.
Yeah.
Like he's not like that.
Oh, what'd
but,
you think
like,
of Tom Waits in that movie?
He's funny. There's
is
like
funny.
a line where he gives like Matt Dillon some chocolate milk, and he's like, "I'll put some hair on your chest."
Yeah.
Like the Charles Bukowski thing though. Like, yeah, Rusty James isn't like a smart guy, but he just
No.
wants to be like his. He thinks he's gonna be like his brother.
Yeah.
And that's like where his fault is.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't think that's a spoiler.
No.
No. But, really pretty looking movie. They do like this. They do like
Oh, the
really
sh- the
cool
shots
stuff
with the fish?
shadows. Yeah,
That shit was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
I've seen those, the ones with it's
The,
in
the colored
color,
fish, yeah.
on the Criterion too. They talk about how they did like some of the effects and shit.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Like
The fish was they had to do some interesting shit with the fish. It was like they shot the fish separately from.
They did, yeah.
They shot it because they had to shoot it in color film or something.
mhm. And then they just like did a thing where
The background was black, so they just changed
the gravel was like already like gray,
yeah.
so they didn't have to like change anything about the fish tank. And
Yeah.
then like I don't know exactly how they got the fish in there, but
Yeah, they got it.
and then Mickey Rourke's really interesting in the movie. He doesn't look like Mickey Rourke,
Yeah, because
you know.
There's 2 Mickey Rourkes out there.
Yeah. This is like the original Mickey Rourke.
Yeah.
He's really good in the movie too. And then Dennis Hopper's in it.
Yeah.
And he's
pretty good.
Yeah.
What do you think of the performances?
Oh yeah, I remember you said you didn't care for like Matt Dillon's performance sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's a few times where it's like he's trying to be tough, and his lines are like really generic tough guy lines, kind of, and it just comes off as like almost like a high school play.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I agree. That's a good
he
way to
wasn't.
describe it. Yeah.
He wasn't bad though.
I saw someone, I forget who it was, some film person. They were praising
Matt Dillon in Rumblefish.
They're saying it was one of their favorite young actor performances.
Interesting.
It's not like I didn't
I
like
forget
it.
who it was though. It doesn't make it. Saying that doesn't make sense unless I know who says it. I
Or-
guess.
Yeah.
It shows like Matt Dillon had like a lot of potential though.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
does. Yeah, definitely.
It's not. I wouldn't say it's a bad performance.
Nicolas
but
Cage is in
sometimes
Rumblefish too.
Shit.
He's kind of.
His performances are definitely playish.
Yeah.
Not a lot of range.
Chris Penn's in it.
Oh really?
Yeah. Diane Lane too.
Yeah.
It has
There's
an all-star cast.
A lot of names in it.
Oh, speaking of Nick Cage, I don't know if you guys saw. He has a new movie coming out. It just came out. It's called Pig.
I want to see
Whoa.
that.
We should go see it.
Yeah, it's in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go
Wait,
see
actually,
it.
We
Is
need
it?
to see.
Dang,
we should
I
totally
gotta
go
say
see
that
it.
for another section of this podcast.
Yeah.
We should see Old too.
Oh,
M. Night Shyamalan.
Are we gonna do a recent release
Yeah, we should
episode?
totally do that.
That'd be
We
cool.
just go to the Zia Pix, but at the theater.
Yeah, I would love to do that. Yeah,
That'd-
Zia Pigs. Just go to like the different posters.
Yeah.
Like, just like look at the
Oh,
posters.
What'd you
man.
guys?
Oh, look, this guy did that.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of the Old? Like, what do you think Old's gonna be like?
No
do you like
idea.
the
I
trailer?
read Joseph's review.
I
on
know.
it. But it seems like it's M. Night Shyamalan is in an interesting stage of his career where I don't think it'll ever reach the heights it did in the beginning but it seems like he's probably at the point right now where he should have started at, where it's like kind of
Oh,
good
shit.
but kind of not good, instead of it just being like, he was being deemed the next Spielberg, what I mean?
Yeah. Old like definitely doesn't look like.
I don't know anything about it though. Like I
What's
haven't
up,
seen the
Waffles?
trailer,
Yeah.
or I don't even know the log line or
Oh,
anything.
okay.
I just know that the guy from Y Tu Mama Tambien is in it.
Yes, he's in it. Alex Wolff is in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The premise of it, I guess it's like on a cognitive level, it's kind of creepy, but like, I don't know. Just going into it knowing like M. Night Shyamalan did it, there's always that bias
Yeah.
a little bit, and I don't know. Like you don't want to see like The Last Airbender or After Earth,
Yeah.
Bro, After Earth. That was I heard it was rumored that Will Smith actually directed the movie, and then M. Night Shyamalan
Just
got
put
paid
his name on it?
Got paid to put his name as
okay.
director. But either way, I don't know if you guys seen After Earth, but
I saw it when it came out.
me too. It's a strange film.
Yeah. I don't really remember too much about it, but I remember like the feeling
That's
of like
the one where
this is weird.
That's the one with yeah, okay, I
Jaden
remember,
Smith.
Yeah.
But like essentially, Will Smith is like, Will Smith dies or something. But then like it's like his like I don't know, basically his cloud, the cloud like storage of his memory is like coaching Jaden Smith to survive this like futuristic Earth.
It was a mainstream but like really weird movie. I don't know when it came out. Yeah.
Then he did
I
The
had a weird
Visit.
feeling.
Yeah.
Did you guys like The Visit?
Yeah, it felt
Oh,
felt like I'm excited to see what he does next. It seemed, even though it was found footage, I don't know.
I didn't feel like particularly super impressed or anything, but I remember like.
But
enjoying
see,
watching
saying
it.
that about like the past 10 years of his career, when you come from The Happening, The Last Airbender, and all the shit,
Yeah.
you're like, oh, to not feel either like ways, I don't know. It seems like it's either an upward trend or he's just died.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like there's more like things to enjoy by watching like The Happening than
Oh,
The
totally.
Visit in a
Oh,
way,
100%,
you
yeah.
know?
Definitely.
Even though The
I get-
Happening's like really fucking out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I were gonna choose between The Visit and The Happening, it's definitely The Happening.
Yeah.
Waffle Teeter said he just watched The Butterfly Effect.
Oh,
For
with
the first
Ashton
time?
Kutcher?
I haven't
shit.
for the first time, but is it a good movie? I haven't seen it.
It's like a sci-fi movie.
Is it? Yeah.
It used to play on like
Sci-Fi
TBS
Channel.
and
Yeah,
the
yeah.
Sci-Fi all the time, but it's interesting. I wonder, is that the movie that like popularized, like I know it was a thing before, but now you say The Butterfly Effect and people kind of know.
Yeah, everybody has like a pretty
Yeah.
good idea on it now.
What was I gonna say? I was gonna.
Did you guys like Split?
I watched it in the theater. I remember enjoying it. Definitely. I remember thinking like the twists were interesting. The performances were good.
James
Yeah,
McAvoy is really great
good
in that.
fucking performance.
Anya Taylor-Joy's in it too.
Yeah.
That's like right after she did The Witch.
The ending, like that little, like.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, the ending is pretty
if you're
like.
a fan.
Yeah, the ending was just kind of like whoa. Like,
Yeah.
No matter who you are, it's like what the fuck is happening.
That's usually the one that like people say he got back on track
Yeah,
with it, you know.
it's definitely
And then Glass was really
Was that good? I didn't see that one.
Glass was interesting.
Glass was
I don't know.
interesting in that
I didn't like the end.
Essentially, like it truly is an M. Night Shyamalan superhero movie.
Yeah.
Where the ending totally upends the genre in its tropes.
That's what I heard. Like people were saying it's gonna be like the next like Marvel Universe type deal. He's making his own thing.
But no, because like I don't know. I don't want to spoil it, but all I'll say is that like, you know, in a traditional superhero movie, it resolves itself in that like the main character, the hero, is like the best of the best, you know, and like they can do anything. And in Glass, the twist makes it so that feeling that you get into the hero is supposed to get put back into like humanity.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really work because it's just so sour of a twist. Like the taste that leaves in your mouth that the positive message that he's trying to put doesn't work in how he wants to.
I should definitely watch that. All right. Well, Officer said I also watched. He said it's got like 5 endings. Butterfly Effect. He also said I also watched The Quest for Fire recently. I highly recommend it. It's about these cavemen trying to get some fire. It's got
The Quest for Fire.
It's got Ron.
Whoa, that's a Norby
It's got
movie.
Ron Perlman in it. That does sound like something I'd really like to watch. Cavemen trying to get fired. That sounds awesome.
Let's see.
Quest for Fire. I never heard of that. When did it come out? Whoever finds it first. Never heard of that one. Cool. Quest for Fire. Quest for Fire. If you're watching this on YouTube, you could look it up too. It's for Elwood. He likes to watch these.
Oh,
on
okay.
YouTube.
Nice. Elwood.
What's up, Elwood?
What's up?
What's up, Elwood? He might never watch this. Elwood, if you're watching and you see this right now and you're hearing this right now, send me a text. Somebody mentioned me in the story.
I think I found it.
Quest for Fire.
Whoa.
1981. Is this it?
It's a foreign movie.
Rated R.
Oh shit.
Takes place in Pierce Oregon 3. Tribesmen search for a new source. That sounds.
It won an
fucking cool.
Oscar.
It won an
Wow.
Oscar?
Yeah.
Ron Perlman. Wow.
Ron
Perlman does
Perlman?
look like a caveman.
Bro.
That's a great actor.
Look at the images. Look at
I'm
that.
gonna look at him real quick.
I'm dead. What?
That
is it?
actually looks pretty cool.
That does look cool. Wow.
What the fuck?
Good recommendation.
How'd you come across that?
Yeah, how'd you find this? If he's watching right now.
It's a French movie.
Wow, what the fuck? It's got pretty good ratings too.
Nachos?
Oh, we got nachos.
Nachos.
You gotta say it like Beavis and Butthead. No.
Nachos.
Nachos.
Nachos. I can't even know how to say it.
Nachos.
Nachos are cool.
Thank you. Oh, I like your thing.
Johnny.
I like your thing. It's pretty cool.
What is that?
It's like the I don't know what you call it.
Highest quality thing you'll ever see. Me and Gator watched the Big Red show.
What's that?
We're watching the Big Red.
Don't watch the movie.
No, we're watching it.
Oh, dude, I want to watch it too.
Well,
Oh, what the
do
fuck?
a show about it. You should do one of these about it.
Maybe.
Oh, I get it.
I forget what it's called. Crusher. Grinder. Oh, Grinder.
Grinder. What movie they watching?
It's this animated show on YouTube. It's like piss poor animation. 'Cause it's like
Oh, like
DIY.
Xavier Renegade Angel.
More piss
That was
poor.
great.
More piss poor.
That was really fun.
I'm glad
to
you
watch.
liked it. Yeah, Xavier Renegade Angel is like. I'll watch the same episode like. Not back to back, but like several times over the
It's in
course of like
rotation.
like a few months. Like we watch it pretty often, and I still feel like I'm catching new shit. It's really intense. It's really
The humor's
dense
so
shit.
quick too.
It's quick. It
You know?
goes by fast. You can't blink. Like and you really don't get the plot until you watch it for like the third time. Like what actually is happening? Like the chronological.
The stories are structured really well.
They are structured.
You know?
Everything kind of comes back to it's really crazy. But they're watching this show. It's not even a show. This YouTube show about a bunch of Sasquatches who just get stoned in Australia. That's it.
What's it called?
It's called Big Les Show.
Okay.
I saw a few clips of it and I didn't think it was that funny, but then Johnny was like would react to it. I'd see what he was laughing at, and then I was like, okay, I'm kind of picking up on the humor of this.
Okay.
Now. But yeah, do you guys want to jump into?
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Why'd you like Rumblefish so much? Like, what drew you to it? Because I remember you
I
talked
had
about
the
it a little
book.
bit.
I saw the book, and I was like, this looks like a cool book, and it has Matt Dillon on the cover, so I'll read it. And I like the story. I like the book a lot more than the movie.
Oh yeah.
And then I watched the movie, and I didn't because I really liked The Outsiders growing up, and like I really liked it. Like
Me
I
too.
just fucking loved that movie.
Pony Boy.
But I didn't realize that The Outsiders had like a sister movie. Like that's like a sister to like or a brother, whatever you want to call it, to The Outsiders. But it's like this weird like artsy black and white expressionist version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really wanted to watch it. And I watched it. I didn't enjoy it as much as the book, but I still enjoyed like just like a different interpretation of a book. Like so it's like pretty different for what the book was.
You wouldn't think of it like that.
No,
You'd almost
not at
like.
all.
I read the book and I thought like, okay, this is gonna be like a grimy thing,
Yeah.
kind of gritty, and then it's like the opposite of that. He wanted to. They made like Rumblefish back to back with The Outsiders.
Mm-hmm.
I
They
guess
share a lot of the same cast.
Yeah, Outsiders and Rumblefish were both written by S.E. Hinton, and then someone gave him Rumblefish during when they were shooting, and he read it, and he got it, you know.
Mhm.
And that was one thing. I felt the movie did like an easier job of like you understand the message,
Mhm.
because when you read the book, it's all like from Rusty James'
Mhm.
point of view, and it kind of like tricks you into like thinking like Rusty James.
Yeah. Yeah.
little
It does.
bit.
No, it does.
And like a first read with it, I could see how like you don't get it all the way because you think like, okay, it's just like this guy telling a story.
Yeah.
You know, he's not that smart. He doesn't really get it. And the dialogue or his thoughts are written really well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you understand how he thinks.
It's impressive that a woman wrote it. Like she
Mhm,
really
mhm.
understood it.
It really feels like you just like found the journal this guy was writing. It's very unique person.
Very unique.
But
you guys want to? Do you guys want to do? Oh wait, you obviously wrote Mark. He said I was looking for movies that were like 10,000 BC, but actually good.
I always wondered if that existed actually. So.
He said XRA Xavier Renegade Angel is amazing, and he quotes, "I'm a survivor. We're a dying breed." This is so funny. Do you want to do El Duce tapes first, or Transient Life, or Factual?
I don't remember anything about Transient Life.
Let's
I'm
start.
sorry.
Let's
I
start
do-
with that one.
Oh, we'll do Transient Life. Anthony, is your pick? From Zia. Oh, yeah, also, this episode, we made another video for it called
Oh yeah.
Green Tongue Zia Picks. So if you want to see how we chose the movies we're talking about now, you can go ahead and check that one out.
Yeah, so if you want to really understand our thought process, you know, it's in there. Oh, quick transition though. Not really a watching thing, but Donda, Kanye's 10th studio album. Kinda out, kinda not. I've been listening to that. But essentially when we were at Zia, I just thought the image of the box was cool. It was
Mhm.
just blank white, like
Yep.
plain white with two naked bodies. And then yeah, I rung it up at the register and the guy's like, "Oh, this is part of like the Japanese new extremity, you know, new wave of the 70s and shit like that." And then we watched the introduction on it before we started the movie.
Mhm.
And that was actually really interesting. I kind of wish it didn't show so much of the
images,
film.
yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like it didn't really spoil it because like the movie's
So different.
It's a singular
Yeah.
experience,
Yeah.
you know. But I guess just to give a brief intro into it, it was, I guess what was interesting is that like and that this is more specifically for Japan, but it kind of applies to like the industry at large at the time. Is going into the 70s, and the accessibility of TV and stuff like that made cinema seem like a dying art form. People weren't really watching movies, at least how they used to be, and it's just not as relevant. But to some, that may seem like the death of cinema. To others, it's the birth, because at that point, you're not really worried about what people are. You're not worried about who's watching. You're worried about what you're making,
Yep.
and you can make whatever the fuck you want. And so in Japan, they decided to take it in a more sexual route, and at the time, softcore pornography became the most watched thing in the cinema at the time. But the thing is, unlike, I guess you could say like a Western contemporary of a U.S. like a United States version, which is really corny and cheesy.
Mm-hmm.
They had all their sex and nudity, but it was surrounded by, I guess, existential thoughts on life and Buddhism and
Mm-hmm.
and faith.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I guess this trilogy and this the first entry into this trilogy, this Transient Life, is. Strange enough, though, I don't know if you guys are fans of what the fuck was it? He created the show. Was
Man's-
it
Go-Go? It was like the robot.
Mega
show.
Man or something.
Ultraman.
Ultraman. From the this movie came. This is the first feature from the creator of Ultraman,
It's so fucking crazy.
which is crazy. But yeah, I guess I don't know, I feel like I could have worded it better, but
You're all good.
that's my intro. I guess just to say, they said this in the introduction we watched too, but like, what's so interesting about the movie though is that it feels experimental. It feels like they're trying to push the form, and that's pretty cool. Cameras moving in different ways,
Yeah, there's a lot of good camera stuff.
and
Cool angles.
And sometimes when you watch a movie like this, it's hard to tell if they're smarter than you or you're just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, if you don't get it or if you never will get it. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
One thing I did want to talk about was like the way they were doing softcore pornography in movies like that. There were a few scenes I was watching. I was like, damn, you could flat out jack off to this. I would be surprised if there were a few people jacking off in the theater.
That's the interesting part, because like it's like what like Burt Reynolds' character from Boogie Nights wants to do with
Mhm.
cinema, and that's what they were just doing
Mhm, mhm.
with the pornography. That's what they were doing in Japan.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird though if you do it, because it's like they're siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that was another thing too, is that there was always a twist on the sexuality presented in these films, right?
Right, yeah.
It was either like rape, incest, or or a combination of the both.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember my reaction for like the first hour and a half, maybe something like that. It was very just kind of like, how do I describe it? Like just trying to piece stuff together. It's like I was trying to understand.
Trying
it.
to catch the vibe.
You're just trying to catch it. You're like the whole for the first hour and a half. You're just like, I'm just trying to catch what's happening. Like just see where it's going and stuff like that. Especially since it was such a long movie too. But like when I got to that one philosophy, that one part where he's like dueling the fucking the monk with
Yeah.
words, I was just like, all right, this
What
is
was
pretty
like?
cool.
What were their arguments?
Their arguments were like, I remember they were talking about heaven, and he was talking about him as a kid thinking about heaven, and how in heaven there's not supposed to be any like pleasure or anything like that. And I forget what his point was about it. It was something about like how
It was essentially how he realized as a child like the inherent paradoxical nature of not just Buddhism but like religion at large, because like at least Buddhism, the whole thing is like to like absolve yourself of like pleasure, because pleasure is pain and all this shit, right?
Mhm.
But then when they in their descriptions of heaven, heaven is a place of all joy and all pleasure and all happiness.
Mhm.
But that's essentially the antithesis of what Buddhism is. Buddhism is trying to reach nirvana, where you don't need anything,
Mhm.
right? And so he's like, it's just bullshit to try to go to heaven, because the steps that you'd have to follow to try to get to heaven don't lead to heaven.
Yeah, I remember him saying something like heaven doesn't exist, like shit, like we already live in hell. Which
Oh
I
yeah,
think-
'cause sorry.
I was just gonna say I think those concepts are interesting, especially since like
Well, he's interesting as a character, because like essentially the whole reason that like the argument is like instigated is because like the monk asked him, like, why are you such a scumbag?
Mhm.
Like, don't you have like standards? And he's like, why should I?
Like, it's like, why do you raise hell wherever you go? And like they actually flat out like discuss it. Like he gives him a philosophical like, explanation for it.
He actually had an answer.
He actually had like a legitimate like reason. Like he had it like all. What's the word? Like not that he was justified, but he had like the foundation of why he was doing. He understood why he was doing what he was doing. He wasn't just being a retard.
He
about
definitely
it.
like sounded like he thought about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely sounded like he did.
Is it alright if I get something to like some water?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah,
Thank you.
no problem.
Do you guys want some?
Sure, if you wanna.
Yeah, water would be good. Thank you.
These are good nachos.
What were some of the shots that you liked, Elijah?
Don't they do kind of like this fisheye thing when they get the fish?
Oh, at the beach?
I think so, yeah.
I remember thinking the first sex scene between the brother and the sister.
Mhm.
He's kind of chasing her around,
Mhm.
and they're wearing those masks,
Mhm.
and the masks are really, it's eerie,
Yeah.
you know. I feel like, okay, you said earlier you could jack off to some of the scenes in it, but like if you, those scenes like on their own,
Mhm.
if you see like the context to which like it builds up, it's really like it's disturbing,
Yeah, I agree.
you know.
There's I mostly mean like I don't think modern people really would, but like back then, there
Back
wasn't,
then.
like, no pornography or anything like that, and like oh man, you're just seeing this random woman's titty and this dude sucking on it. It's like I can definitely see a few dudes
Oh,
for sure.
I'm sure, but there's a thing too with like that whole movement. It's like there was like perverse sexuality in it,
Yeah.
and what do you think that comes from?
In Japan,
Mm-hmm.
they said it was like they didn't have any pornography.
But why is it not just like porn then? Like why isn't it just like a romance?
That's a good point. That's a really
Like-
good point. I don't know.
The thing I think maybe is like it's a reflection of maybe like a societal
Like a societal view on.
like I don't even know if it's a view, but just like a, what's the word for it? Like a way people like live their life at the time,
Mm-hmm.
like a societal trait.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are there like people that are like this? You know, is that what's inspiring it?
Japan, there's something about incest in Japan. There's a little bit more incesty stuff in Japan than I think a few other. I don't know about most countries, but definitely here in America.
We definitely have a conflicting view with that.
Yeah, we have a lot more conflicting views, but in Japan they're a lot more like open about it.
I mean, I still think like an American would jack off to it,
Yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
but
I mean, what is it? There's a few states where it's like brother sister porn is like the top search type of porn.
oh my bad.
Sorry.
Why do you think there's like really perverse
Oh, thank you,
sexual
Anthony.
themes in these Japanese new wave movies of the time?
I think you kind of track it back to probably like part of the history of Japanese cinema. Is it like their interpretation of like I think like deep or like I don't know serious topics is to make it kind of like fucked up. Like I think of like Godzilla, and that's kind of them dealing with the aftermaths of World War II, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that in some ways Japanese culture is a bit ahead of its time.
Mm-hmm.
In just the way they do things. And I think that like we're kind of seeing that now, you know, where like they have like the lowest birth rate or whatever, no one's
Mhm.
having kids and shit
Yeah.
like that. But but like it's a lot cuz like they have like the highest suicide rate, and they're just like I don't know. But the stuff that like at least to me, and this is more I guess my personal opinion on it, it seems like the shit that's happening over there right now is eventually just going to like branch out and like
Yeah.
I already see some of it starting to happen here, you know.
Alright, keep going. But I have
Sorry.
a lot to say on that.
And so, sorry, that's not really into why they like fucked up sexual shit, but I think it's just they it's part of the culture. I don't
Mhm.
know.
Yeah, There's something about Japan right now that's definitely like ahead of its time. Like, I think it's probably a technological thing. Like, they have a lot of shut-ins. They have a lot of people who just like don't do anything. They just live with their parents
Exactly.
and just play video games or watch anime. And
It's
they're,
like
total
socially
losers.
socially acceptable though.
Yeah,
you know?
socially acceptable. Exactly. That's the weird thing about it. Like, there's women in Japan who go out and hire dudes to have sex.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting, all right, but they're so like advanced, right? Their technology is so good. Like, even their doors, like they slide. They're like economical. Everything they do is economical and like super fucking cool. But everybody there is becoming like super like lame and like soft.
That's what happens when everything's awesome.
Exactly. So the interesting part about that, they did an experiment. I don't know when. Some people did an experiment before the 2000s, but they got a bunch of rats or mice, and they put them in a little structure where they had a society where they had everything they needed, and it was great at first, but as it went on, it deteriorated. Because they had all the food, they had all the water they wanted. There was like they had mice. There's plenty of like sex going on. It was just they just created a utopia for them. But they had everything they needed, and for whatever reason, all the male mice just stopped fucking. They just became total losers.
Oh yeah.
And all the women were trying to like have sex, but they just wouldn't do it. And there was more fights, there's more violence, and it slowly just deteriorated. And it was a total shitstorm. And you kind of see that in like Japan. Japan has like a lot of what's the word? Just great technology, and you can kind of see it here in America coming out. Like there's a lot more like kids who aren't doing anything, they're just playing video games and like watching shit.
They just hate pain.
They hate pain. There's a lot more kids who just hate pain, like the iPad kids right now.
But then people are like relating on that level too.
Yeah.
And then that's gonna be like the next generation.
Yeah, exactly.
And that is kind of scary.
It's scary, yeah. But it shows like it's almost like a reset type of thing, where it's like
that's what I was gonna say. Is that like you're describing this utopia thing, and like it was awesome at first, and then just went to shit. And that just sounds like the history of mankind, right?
Yeah. But it's interesting that happens for like rats are the same way. Like it's the same pattern.
Or
the males go
yeah.
soft, the women like everybody goes crazy, and then they just all kill each other.
So that's what this movie's communicating with its themes
Nah,
on
see,
sexuality.
sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to
you're
go
good.
No, but
that
it's
way
just
with it.
Japan's interesting in
But-
that way that they're like a window to the future. in my opinion.
Exactly. What was I gonna say?
I think at least specifically with this movie, you know how you're talking like with Buddhism, it's like pleasure is pain, and like pleasure is pain, right?
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense for it to be like an incestuous relationship, because it's like, physically like it feels good, but morally it's like something that you're not supposed to do.
I think you hit it right on the head right there. And
Yeah.
that's probably why all this shit is fucked up, because it's supposed to show the dichotomy of I don't know.
I almost feel like this is like
situations.
Ooh, this brings up a good point. Okay, you can say yours.
I was
He's
gonna
got
say
it
this almost
loaded.
seems like in Japan their most prominent religion is like Buddhism, whereas like here it's like Christianity.
Yeah.
And anybody who's like trying to be punk about it or just like reject the establishment is be like fuck Christianity. I almost feel like they're trying to do that with Buddhism. Like take it a layer above Buddhism for like all the people who are like really into it, and just tell us how human beings can behave.
I know I asked this question last time,
Yeah.
and I didn't really do any research on it, but like, what's like the like goal of Buddhism's what, like reach nirvana?
Yeah.
And that's like total like peace with yourself, peace with the world, kind of
It's more like
Sorry.
yeah, I guess it's peace, but it's more like an acceptance almost.
it's like an acceptance of like all the fucked up shit and like the good shit, and like it's like the ultimate equilibrium.
It's like becoming one with it.
It's like
With
if you were a video game character and like all of your like attributes were at level 10, you know what I mean? Like you're maxed out in every aspect of life, mentally, spiritually, whatever shit. And then you get to the point where like I don't know if there's different interpretations of Buddhism, like there's like Christianity, because like I don't know if they all believe in reincarnation or not, but essentially it breaks the cycle. You stop being reincarnated, you just hit nirvana, you know what I mean? You're just fucking enlightened. Bro, Willie loves my fucking foam runners.
Yeah, don't let him. If you want to take him off and hide him. He normally doesn't chew shoes. I never see him chew a shoe ever.
The guy who sold me these said that his dog was all over them too.
Whoa.
Might be
That's probably why.
Yeah.
Chill, bro.
That's one thing that's interesting about Buddhism. I think it's funny whenever I see like a liberal, like a hardcore liberal, saying they're Buddhist, because like the point of nirvana is to like accept, like understand, and, like be one with everything that is in the universe. That includes like
Everything.
evil shit. That means like racism, rape. It means like understanding that human beings are capable of it. It means-
Homophobic
yeah,
people.
homophobic people. It
Yeah.
means like really just accepting existence as it is.
That's. I guess it depends where like your spiritual beliefs go above your political beliefs, but in theory, most of them don't seem to come off like spirituality is greater than
No.
political.
But I think it's funny whenever people say that.
Are there any other good like? Oh well, this is a. Are there any other good Buddhist movies? But there's a trilogy.
Yeah.
But
there's I
Little
don't-
Buddha
Little Buddha. I don't know. I never
with
heard of that. one.
Keanu Reeves. I don't know if it's called Little Buddha.
I don't know about that one.
Me neither. No.
Hold on.
There's the Martin Scorsese one, Silence, that kind of, but it's through like the Christian
Oh
lens.
yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I guess that's more about Christianity and
Yeah.
challenging it. But still, I mean, it's Yeah.
Buddhism versus Christianity.
I told you. Little Buddha, directed by Bernardo Bertolucci.
what the. Oh,
Damn.
I think you've talked about this before, actually.
We watched this in Mr. Rayfeld's class
Fucking dead.
in my sophomore year. Sorry. I don't think that's a good Buddhism movie. necessarily.
That's a good. I don't even know.
I'd like to like.
Oh, actually, these aren't really Buddhist movies, but they seem to be derived of like growing up in a Buddhist culture.
Mm-hmm.
You should check out Edward Yang's Yi Yi.
Mm.
And also a classic, Yasujiro Ozu's Tokyo Story.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
not really because they deal with Buddhism, but it just, I guess
You can tell.
it feels like it's like part, the Buddhist culture.
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
it's more Asian culture, but it's just a lot of shit about just like generations and I don't know. I guess they're just good movies. I
Yeah.
don't even
Is
know.
reaching like Nirvana being like okay with like every bad thing and like
Yeah.
that's the thing everyone like focuses on I think
Mhm.
is like the bad things because it's easy to be like emotionally like accepting of the good things.
Yeah.
But is it like being like
fucking GLB?
Yeah.
I'm only gonna. accept
Or
the
I
good
thought it
things.
was like once you hit Nirvana, you're so satisfied in like the Nirvana that it's not even that you accept the negative, but you don't even like feel the urge to accept anything. You don't
Yeah.
have to accept anymore.
yeah, it's
It's
like
just-
it's a serotonin rush.
It's like being nothing.
Yeah.
It's like being nothing and everything.
And
Exactly.
you're alive.
You're trying to like the whole goal of Nirvana is just to be like the yin yang thing.
I don't know.
That's all it is.
It's like is it supposed to be possible?
Yeah, people say they've done it.
I don't know if they have.
But they say they
It's a
have.
cool idea. Like it's
Yeah.
something cool to strive for.
That's like hardcore rewiring your brain. type
But
shit.
like to like actually be emotionally like think about like negative things in a positive emotional way.
Mhm.
That's
It's-
like
I wouldn't even say it's like a positive emotional
No, that's.
way.
I feel like
I don't know if
you're,
you ca-
you're
it can't
thinking of
be
it too
positive.
much in like a reaction.
Yeah.
I feel like.
It's more like
I guess my interpretation is that there's just no reaction.
Yeah.
It just like it passes through you. You're like you ever heard the Bruce Lee quote like be like water?
Yeah.
Just
it's
like
I don't
just
know if it
pass
can be
through.
like that.
meditating. The way they talk about meditating.
I don't
is
think
like,
no.
you
I
don't-
like it's just it's more of an ideology. Like you're trying to reach
Yeah.
nirvana. You never. I don't know.
I feel it. That sounds more like apathy though. Like I know it.
Oh, I guess. Well, no, there is like a positive aspect to it. I guess.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Norby?
I would say it's like I kind of see it similarly to like meditating, where it's like Nirvana is probably similar to like certain thoughts and feelings come into your head, and you view them more as like a third person perspective, where it's like
Mhm.
you're really just trying to let everything pass through.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
you
It's-
unlock
it's-
like the third person mode.
Yeah.
In Minecraft, but in real life.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
what it seems like Nirvana is supposed to be like. Where it's
That
like-
just sounds like not caring about things.
No, it's not.
Why
that
do you
not
keep
caring-
on trying to like? Buddhism's not that cool, guys.
No.
It's
My-
like about reacting to stuff with a really big perspective than just your own perspective.
Yeah.
But also still understanding your own perspective and like holding on to that. It's like having like everything and being able to like balance stuff out.
Yeah.
It's like as soon as something enters your head, you just like it just goes into balance instantly.
Okay, that's a better way to
It's like an American way to put it.
I guess.
Putting in like
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to put
Yeah.
in mathematical terms for Elijah.
Yeah.
Have
Thought
to
into
write
his
it in
head.
an equation.
Write an equation. What was I gonna say?
Nirvana's a cool
You guys
word.
talked about shots though and the wide angle stuff.
Yeah.
and I think what's just cool is just how much the camera's moving. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You and obviously, you know, it's not like it's the 1930s. It's a couple of decades after that. But
Yeah.
still, cameras are heavy and loud and shit like
Yeah.
that. And sometimes the shit is zooming. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
So that was kind of cool and I feel like I've talked about this before, but there's just something also just about Japanese architecture that just makes it so just interesting to just like frame people in, you know?
Or like the shot where he's chasing his sister through the house. There's like some cool framing there.
Sometimes the movie, like, not, I don't know if it's right to say it's like excessively long, but every sequence, every scene just feels like it's like stretched, like.
They weren't the perfect house. They weren't the perfect guest.
I remember we were all saying at the the perfect party guest.
Perfect party guest. Yeah.
I remember we were all saying at the end like we thought it was gonna end like 3 times.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
More
yeah,
than
well,
that,
like,
5.
No, because like
That's
that was another thing too, where like one by one he had to resolve every one of the plots, you know, like. So like once the A plot's done, you're ready for the movie to be done. You don't even care if you think it's part of the like it's to be open, like the B and C plots
Yeah.
and all that shit. And like actually no, let's see what
Resolve
happens.
everything,
Yeah. And I guess that's where maybe the faults of a first time filmmaker. You don't know what to cut.
All those felt like they should have been alternate endings almost. You know.
I'd be curious to see if he continues that trend in the rest
other
of the
ones?
trilogy.
Yeah.
I have a feeling he doesn't though, but
Yeah, maybe.
maybe I'm giving the benefit of the doubt.
It seemed like there were a lot of tracking shots that would go from like right to left, and then it would cut to it going like right to left. Did you notice that?
Not so much.
I didn't notice the cuts, but
Yeah.
definitely because like when
Definitely
I think
didn't
of a
notice the
tracking
tracking
shot, I
shots.
usually think of it on like the Z-axis going like forward and backwards. But this one did have like a lot of
Or
horizontal,
sideways.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is interesting. I forget. Sorry, what were you saying?
No.
I was reading some film theory thing about this. There's like this in film theory, some thing about characters moving left to right or right to left.
Yeah.
Or the camera doing the same thing. But now thinking of it in terms of like, I don't remember exactly when that shit happens, but there's also something about like in Asian stuff, you know, they read left or right to
Yeah.
left and shit like that, or some of the connotations get switched. Same thing with like, you know, in like Japanese culture, white is seen as evil and black is not. It's the opposite over here.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, because like white's supposed to be like the color of like spirits and the dead. and
Oh shit.
That's why. Yeah, that's why like
Oh.
the Grudge and shit is.
That's really interesting.
The masks are
Yeah.
white.
Yeah.
You'd almost
Oh,
think it
yeah.
would be you almost think black would be more universal because like black is like darkness. You know.
That's just because
things
you're
like that.
American, though.
I guess so. I guess you're not afraid of the dark over there.
Yeah.
Maybe
The-
when they close their eyes, it's just white.
maybe they have their shit inverted.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why their culture's so ahead. Just
Yeah.
everything's just
The colors
upside
are just
down.
inverted, yeah.
They're like Japan is just like the motorcycle boy.
I can see that. Yeah.
That'd be cool.
What's
But
the
it's like-
motorcycle boy?
He's from Rumblefish.
But that would mean the motorcycle boy is like also like a weeb.
He could be. You could see that.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah. He could talk to like some like
Like
Belle
some-
Delphine girl or something.
Yeah. Damn, I can't believe we said that name.
Yeah.
I had a friend who like a year or two ago, he bought like it's Belle Delphine, right?
That's right. Yeah.
He bought like a condom from her.
Wow.
She has her own.
Did he buy
She
the
has her like
bathwater too?
bathwater, yeah.
She
He
has-
bought the bathwater too?
Nah, he wasn't that weird.
Okay.
But I mean, I think he tried it on.
Damn. Wow.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, wouldn't that be crazy if you went to Japan and the color white was just kind of scary over there for some reason? Like how Florida's
like
constantly-
goth people were all white.
Yeah.
Whoa.
That'd be fucking.
They dye their hair like really light colors and
Yeah.
stuff. Like blonde is like when people dye their hair like fucking
Yeah.
purple over here.
What's the name? Sorry, that remind. I don't know if you guys are fans of Japanese fashion, but it is pretty crazy.
Mm.
But there was this like magazine, but like a photographer. I forget who it was, but like in the like early 2000s, late 90s, he had this series. It's called, I think it was called Fruit. He would just take
Fruit? That's
pictures.
cool as fuck.
He would just
Oh,
take
wow.
pictures of like streetwalkers and shit like that. Sorry, just reminded me of it. You guys should check it out. Though.
That sounds
Really
really cool.
Good
Fruit,
inspiration.
That's a cool name.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I wasn't a big fan of, I guess, the sound or music in general. Or not. I
yeah,
guess that fan isn't the wrong word. It just felt weird.
Yeah.
If music felt the way the scenes felt, where like
Yeah.
it just came in and out at like.
Random. Just
Yeah,
random.
it felt awkward. Didn't feel intentional. I don't know.
Yeah.
The vibe, or like the strings were a bit screechy.
Yeah.
That's my.
It didn't bother me so much at first, but like looking back on it, I remember how just kind of like I would never listen to that or like put it in anything I make.
It didn't like seem like very melodic, you know.
No.
It didn't seem like it.
But the movie kind of felt
made
like
you
that
float.
too.
The movie's not. It's
Yeah.
called This Transient Life. It's supposed to be changing.
I really like the philosophical debate. Like
That
even the
scene was
camera work
cool.
they did there was just way
That's what
different.
I'm
Like
saying,
all
like,
the zooms.
They could have
Felt like a
just
rocket.
most of the. I guess that's the one thing though. Like a lot of the scenes we're saying how they feel long and music feels weird, but in terms of the way that they're blocked and shot, it just
pretty good.
feels different. You
Yeah.
know, they could have just done a shot reverse shot, but every shot is different. You know,
Yeah.
it cuts from. It does the wide, medium, close up thing, but
Yeah.
every shot, and then in that it's also the camera's moving and stuff. So interesting. I feel like it's a movie like it kind of gives me like I take away the same things I take away from like Lady Snowblood. Where I'm
Yeah.
like, there's cool stuff in here that I'll take, but like I don't want to watch this movie for fun. Really,
Yeah.
you know.
I would watch the debate for fun. 'Cause like I kind of once I heard that, like I was like, oh, okay, I can see why the brother's doing what he's doing. I was like, I almost agreed with him.
I'd kind of like to go through it again and write like a beat sheet for it.
That'd
Kind
be
of pick
cool,
up on like.
yeah.
I feel like
Good
the
luck.
really interesting. Yeah.
Good luck, dude.
Well, the really interesting things about this movie are like the philosophical discussions.
That part was like,
You know?
I really enjoyed the.
and
fuck out
then
of
like
that.
you beat sheet out that type of stuff,
Yeah.
and then like you have a good conversation about it.
I like how
you know?
intense. Like that felt very anime. Like even the way it
Yeah.
was shot, it was like pretty
Yeah.
anime. Like it felt like that zoom was like, you know, when like they're arguing and you see like the background, just like a bunch of
Like
lines
just the
and shit.
lines.
Yeah,
That's what I was
how
gonna
that
say.
scene
That's
felt.
where a lot of the camera, like when it would go from like just the wall. And
Yeah,
shit, I
yeah,
feel
yeah.
like in anime it would just be the lines and then
Yeah,
it would cut to the
yeah.
face.
So loaded question,
Hmm.
but like, what do you think the meaning of life is? Like, what do you think like the purpose of like man is? Take your time.
Elijah,
I
tee us
take-
up, tee us up. Give us the template.
The template.
So we can fill in the
template.
blanks.
Okay, like, do you think
Like,
life
remember,
is
like,
based?
Norby asked us that question.
That's too
It-
free.
it- I know.
Remember we
but,
asked
like-
us our Bible and then we said like the most
yeah,
random
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, she might mean something different. Yeah, like give us an
Hello,
outline.
testing.
Because I could talk. Forever
Okay, like,
about
do you
that.
think like there's like an objective meaning for man to find like gratification in the world?
What do you mean by gratification?
Like,
Like pleasure?
does
or, like-
gratification come in being happy, or like being like, how does one become like pure? You know? Okay, do you
Mm.
believe in God?
I don't believe in like a Christian God.
Or like intelligent designer?
Or just like a higher being
Not really-
than
not
humanity.
like a higher being. I believe that all this is more like just something that is.
It just
like
comes
that.
out
Just-
of,
just
like-
something that is. It's like it is intelligent, but also it's like it's not intelligent, because it's like that's what everything is.
Do you feel like the universe is a being then, or not really?
It's not like a being. It's like. Well, the universe technically is a being and it isn't, because like we're all in it. Like
Yeah.
the universe can't exist without us.
Well, the
and we
universe
can't
lives
exist-
because we live in it.
Yeah, exactly. Like we live in it, and but it also has us in it. You know, it's like
We're the microbes of the universe.
yeah, it's like, we
there's
make it. We
shit
help
living
make
inside
up
us.
the universe. So it's like, does that make the universe a being if it has beings on it or in it? You know, it's. I mean, also we don't know exactly what the universe is either.
I imagine the universe to be something like a mushroom. That's like just like
It's like
ancient.
fungi.
It doesn't like really have like thoughts, but it just lives and grows and
Yeah.
change your life.
We're part of the mushroom.
Yeah.
We're like cells in your body. We're like cells of
Yeah.
the universe.
Yeah.
But like, okay,
But what that means for me, like the way I view, like, I wouldn't say like the meaning of life, but like the meaning of life for human beings.
Yeah.
Human beings different than like a dog. You know, it's different. But it definitely.
Why is it different?
Yeah, like, so do you feel like the
It's
like
different
humans
because we can like conceptualize it. Like we're like we get meta about it. Like a dog can't get meta about life.
But just because you can conceptualize something doesn't make it better.
No, it doesn't make it better. It's like, what do you mean by that?
Like,
does the existence does our existence, because we can conceptualize things, make it more complex or better than a dog?
It's definitely objectively
Yeah.
it makes it complex. Like that's objective. Our brains are just are a
we're
lot more
smarter than
complicated.
them. It's
we're
fair to
smarter
s-
than
like
we're objectively more complicated than an animal.
But what, like, hold on.
Yeah, this is a hard discussion.
This is getting there. I had a talk with a friend about this the other
Yeah.
day, and it got me thinking. And then we're talking about like this.
It's fun.
And it's
I like
real
talking about this
philosophical.
stuff.
I need a joint
Do-
for this right now.
No,
Yeah.
no, I get that, and I'll just be quiet.
Just for me. You need
Just
to
be like,
sit next to me.
So do you think because man? Okay, so you're at what you said is like because man can have like complex thoughts about like himself and like his surroundings that a dog or like an animal is incapable of having. A man is worth more than a dog.
No, I think they're both equal. It just means that man is able to do. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Well, I wouldn't say that man is worth more than a dog, but like, you can buy at my job. You can buy a bagel for $1, but you can also buy, I don't know, something shittier than a bagel for $1. You know, so they're the same price, but like, I don't know. one
I
of
can
them's
see where you're
better
coming
than-
from because like complicated thought for as long as for what we know is like a rarity. Like it is rare and its value. It does have like a weird value to it, but it's like it's only valuable to people who understand the value of it. Like I wouldn't say like the universe fully understands the value of it. Like we're that's where it gets complicated. Like a part of talking about philosophy like this is also like establishing definitions.
Yeah.
Like definitions are super important.
Okay, like
it's funny though, cause like, in that context, like, you spend if like your definition of life is like 5 paragraphs, I would say like 4.5 would be your definition, explaining everything,
Yeah.
and like the last half of the paragraph is like, okay, so this is actually the meaning of life. You know, 'cause now that we understand everything.
it's like okay, think about it. Okay, think about it from like maybe like what a Christian perspective would be on it, where it's like man is like made in the image of God, and because God like created everything, man has inherent value because he's created in God's image.
Right.
So that's why we have more value than like an animal. Because an animal wasn't created to
Like represent God.
yes.
I understand that perspective, but it's just not.
What
It's not
about
the
the
pure
theory
perspective I have.
that aliens, they were just doing testing and all the animals on the planet were just like failed experiments until they finally made humans? You know?
That would change it. That would change it drastically.
Wouldn't that
That'd be
give us like a
mind-blowing.
purpose then to well,
Not really, unless if they had a purpose.
I
in
guess
mind.
too it like purpose doesn't necessarily does purpose come from serving something, you know? Cuz then in a way shouldn't our purpose be to serve the aliens?
Yeah, that's what some people would do, but some people would reject it hardcore.
So wait, so does purpose involve some sort of servitude then?
A little bit. I mean,
I feel like
Well, I
it
mean,
really
like,
depends.
that feels like more of like a
Yeah,
human
no,
vice to want to serve
it
something.
Because like if let's say you can have a purpose to serve something else, like we're trying to serve movies, you know, like we want to like
Yeah,
we want to
serve
serve the
film.
form. We're also
Yeah.
not just serving the form. It's like we're serving ourselves. Like we want to like bow like you know what's like worship ourselves and like trying to like achieve what we want to do, you know.
I got
You know
you.
what I
It's
mean?
like you
It's
get
there's
joy-
there's
You
multiple
serve
layers of-
yourself through serving the
There's
film.
multiple
Yes.
layers of service, like where there's like service of others, service of self, like service of like things and stuff.
you love cinema so much that like
Yeah.
you want to go out there and make something that like
You-
is part of what you love.
You
and
keep
you
cinema
love that.
alive so you can live.
A part
Yeah.
Of, a part of the reason why I do like movies is because I do see them similarly to life, as in like you're creating something for other people to experience, and so it's like, what is the purpose of creating a movie? What is the purpose of a movie?
Oh dang, that's an even deeper question.
It's
than
like
a life
like
one
it's
to
like
me.
so it's like
That's like
it's like-
I don't know if there's an objective
Well, yeah. See, it
there's
seems
not
like there's like an
objective
asterisk.
purpose.
It's either. It seems for the most part. It could be maybe multiple, but
Yeah.
it seems like it's either to entertain,
Mhm.
to inform, or to like reflect, like put
Yeah.
a mirror onto yourself, right? And sometimes those can intertwine.
exactly, yeah.
But it seems like for the most part, I would say like those are the three distinct categories in terms of why movies or art in general are made.
Yeah. So the best catch-all I find for all of that is just to experience.
To experience.
The point of a movie is just to experience. Like you watch a movie just to experience it. And so in a way, I almost see life kind of like that. Like the purpose of life is just to experience it.
Okay, so it's not okay.
It's like a dog. A dog just experiences life. Like that's a purpose. Like just to experience it.
Okay. That's like there's this
Dang, yeah.
there's this French philosopher named like Camus.
Oh, Albert Camus.
Yeah, and that's like I read something about him the other day, and that's like kind of the idea I tended to get from it. He said there's like 3 possibilities for like life. One of them is like kind of giving up, committing suicide, realizing that
Yeah.
like,
Cool.
Yeah, yeah.
pain sucks.
I remember that. Yeah, like he's like, okay, so like, yes, like step 1 is either you kill yourself or you don't. You know, there's
Yeah.
no thinking
And-
about it.
And then step 2 is like you take like a leap of faith into thinking there is a purpose in life,
Mm-hmm.
even though like there's no certainty of that.
Mhm.
You almost like lie to yourself to keep yourself going,
Right,
so that you
exactly.
don't commit
Mhm.
suicide.
It feels like when you graduate high school and you just jump into college because like everyone. I mean, obviously some people go to work, but like you go into it without a real major in mind, right?
Right.
It's like college isn't necessarily like how you become like college isn't necessarily the key to success, but it's something that
Until you figure
hear
it out, you-
yeah,
you put-
it's something you do. Like success is something like you make of yourself, and people say like you should go to college, and you don't necessarily have it all figured out, and you're not going to kill yourself.
Mhm.
So you go into that, you know.
Right.
And I don't think he really thought of it like explained it in stages, but like the third part of it, I guess, kind of feels like a stage where it's like he says people kind of move past the prior ones
Mhm.
and go on to basically just like you experience life
Yeah.
through like the good and the bad, and there's value in just like having experienced something.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know? And that's like I feel like that's the scariest one, because that's where like there's the least amount of comfort. Like in suicide, it's just saying like, okay, this is too hard for me, I'm done. You know?
It's funny. It's not funny. It's just like rage quitting. It's like sad quitting.
Yeah, it's like you
Sad
give up.
quitting.
You give up when it gets hard,
Yeah.
and that's just like yeah, you know.
Mhm.
Then there's the other one though. It's like where you put like your faith into something that doesn't necessarily have the answer,
Like
but you'll believe it
religion.
has the
Yeah.
answer. Yeah, whatever it is, religion. It could any
Yourself,
type of idol.
something,
Yeah.
You know. And then the last part is like acknowledging that like there's no objective truth
Mhm.
when it comes to your purpose. So just go out and like
Live your
This-
truth. Yeah.
yeah, or make your own.
I
I,
think
I wouldn't even
for
say.
me-
I don't think he views it in terms of like truth.
Well,
it's
no,
like
isn't
make your own truth. I
Isn't
guess.
Camus' whole thing like absurdism and stuff like
Yeah,
that? So it's
yeah.
like once you realize all life is absurd, then you stop really like giving a shit about like the minutia of things, and you can kind of like live a better life.
Yeah.
Or is that Sartre? I don't remember the French one.
yeah, I
Not too
think
certain
so.
either.
No, because
I think
Sartre's
it's-
existentialism. He's the
Yeah.
whole existence precedes essence, and that's more about how like you exist before you actually become a person or
Yeah.
a being worth value, I guess. Which is different than I think Camus' whole thing of like, nah, you have it in you and you got to find it, right? I don't know.
I feel it's kind of like a negative, like it's not an optimistic way to view life.
The
In a way.
experience.
Yeah, because
It's
then
not,
it's
but-
just saying like, okay, the goal. I feel like most people view life like this, where it's like the purpose of life, especially if they're not religious,
Mhm.
is to be happy
Right.
and do things that make you happy.
Yeah.
And I mean, in the movie, that's like that one guy's. That's what the whole guy's saying. It's like, I reject Buddhism because it doesn't give me like pleasure,
Yeah.
basically. And I feel that's like what a lot of people do, because like being happy is nice.
Yeah.
Experiencing things that are pleasurable, like your brain's like kind of wired to do that.
Mhm.
But like, I think Camus kind of says like, that's not what the purpose of life is.
Yeah.
It reminds
I
me
agree.
of this one Mad Men quote where
Oh, okay.
the main character he's talking about happiness, and he says that essentially there's no such thing as happiness. Like people like get tricked into thinking they're happy, but it's actually they're forgetting that they're not happy, and then trying to reach happiness is just trying to get back to that state where you forget. Yeah, it's just about trying to get the high.
I feel like a lot of it can like turn into like people exactly. It's like what you think happiness is.
Mm-hmm.
For a lot of people, I feel that can be like comfort.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like it's hard to go out and like do something new in life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's scary. You have to like and that's like where you kind of have to like take a leap of faith, but more in like yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and like go do something, make something out of yourself. Whereas like if you didn't necessarily do that, you could still be in like a like comfortable state.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to risk anything. You're not like facing like the chance of embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
It's not scary, but it's not necessarily something that
You also don't
makes you
face the
happy.
chance for like success or like
No,
true like
no.
achievement.
That's like something like a lot of successful people say
Yeah.
too, is like you can't be afraid to be afraid.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that on my explore page a lot. The billionaire quotes.
Yeah.
Dude, I like those pages a lot.
It's funny because like half of them are like misspelled, like just typos
Yeah,
all over
they're
the
just like
place.
so simple.
Yeah.
It's like I am money. It's like
I am one.
It's goofy.
But I do like the experience explanation. Not necessarily because like it makes me feel better, but it's like I do see it as being the most accurate.
It feels logical. Like
Because logical, yeah. It's like
if I could apply that to like myself, because sometimes you listen to people say like their interpretation of how you're supposed to live your life, and like it
Mhm.
feels very singular. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? What about you, Elijah?
I don't know. I had when I had the discussion with my friend, he came from like a really I guess like religious point.
Who was it?
It was a friend I used to go to church with.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And it just like made me think about. He was very I guess
faithful.
convincing.
Of what?
Just like
His point?
His point of view made sense to me, kind of.
What foundation?
Well, he's a
does it come from?
Christian, so he views it like. He views that the possibility of life existing
Mhm.
without the interference of like basically God
Mhm.
is impossible.
Okay.
So I feel it's like a pretty standard. I said it
Mhm.
earlier. It's like the pretty standard Christian viewpoint, but it's like the statistical probability of like there being not a God,
Mm-hmm.
or of life existing without God is a lot lower than if there was like an intelligent designer.
Yeah.
And then basically he goes on to say like if God created us, that means we have value. And then that's where like you refer to the Bible and stuff. And
Mhm.
then that's where I feel like things can get a bit messy though, cuz like a lot of different religions believe in like a God.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of just turns into like which one are you going to follow?
Right.
You know? I haven't really done much research into like the creation of life. So I'm not.
Mushrooms, bro. I swear.
It makes you think about.
Oh
that
no,
type
no.
of stuff?
Mushrooms are like part of like the history of life. Like they're like one of the first organisms, and then like without mushrooms, like the human race wouldn't be here either. Like they helped us. Like
I'll tell you
they gave us a boost.
one reason why I like comparing movies to like think about the meaning of life.
Mm-hmm.
Because God is like we consider God like the creator.
Yeah.
And he created all this. And I see movies very similarly. It's like we're trying to create something. It's like we're trying to be God in a way, like to
Yeah.
create experiences for
Yeah. Yeah.
We're creating whole worlds, whole people.
Yeah.
That's our
yeah.
job is like to sculpt people and
Yeah.
without even trying to, it is kind of in our image because it's through our
Exactly.
our
Yeah.
lenses of being. And so in a sense, yeah, we live among
Yeah.
gods. We're trying to be gods in
Yeah.
a sense.
That's like the Kanye thing in a way too.
Yeah, and
like-
I didn't want to bring it up because I feel like I talk about it forever.
No,
but
no.
he has an interesting view, and I guess just I don't know. You'd have to ask him, I guess. But from what I can gather, it seems like his view on life, or at least his interpretation, comes from like this Christian view of there being a creator. But it's so singular in terms of it being like you believe in God, but you don't like. It's not enough that you believe in yourself less. You know what I mean? Like believing in God just as much as you believe in yourself, I think, is why he's able to achieve whatever he achieves. Because like he's like, fuck, I like you're just saying, there's this leap of faith you take when you don't really look on the other side because you believe in something that outside of yourself, but that comes through yourself. Like I don't know.
That's kind of cool though. I think I get it because I've heard you say sometimes before, like if you're a fan of Kanye, you're a fan of yourself, and Kanye's like a fan of God, which makes him a fan of himself, and he wants to encourage people to be like that.
I talked about this too, like the song "I Am a God." It's not just that he's a God. It's supposed to say that like if we're created in the image of God, we're supposed to be a version of God, right? There's God in all of us, then, right?
Yeah.
Then we are God. We are a God in whatever if you're trying to create something.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think of it that way. I don't know.
I've always liked that perspective.
That is a very
of
optimistic
God.
way to view it. You know, it's.
That also means like God's like a rapist and stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Sorry, what?
Do you think there's objective right and wrong? Because I've heard like some philosophical like debates.
I'll tell you what I think about it. You can go ahead.
I've just heard like there's like philosophical debates over like subjective truth and objective truth, and society obviously like makes objective truths, but like
I feel like
there's
there needs to be some to be objectivity.
The way I thought about it and the way I like figured it out for myself when it came to right and wrong and like morality is like looking at morality in terms of like all right, so like the purpose, not the purpose of life, but like what life seems to do objectively is to try to keep on living. Like it just has this undying will to just like not die, just like don't die. And so human beings seem like they became very complicated and very social, and they seem to have found the best way to live is through morality. Like without morality, we would have killed each other. Like we needed like certain social rules to keep from like murder. We couldn't like all the like that's one reason why nobody like not the
can't get shit done if everyone's killing each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we can't like that's the reason why not everybody's like a sociopath. Because if we had a society of sociopaths, they'd like all just probably kill each other. They wouldn't care. You know, like,
it wouldn't be a society.
Yeah, it's like a thing. We have morality because it's like we wouldn't be here without morality.
Do you think, like, I guess to bring it more to an existential thing, do you think we're born with some sense of morality though, or that it's like instilled in us once we're?
I think there's I do think that like you are kind of like a fresh slate, but there's probably like aspects of it.
I feel like you can see it in young kids who like, even if they aren't really shaped by like society or their parents or whatever shit, they seem to have some sort of like what's fair and what's not, and usually it's very selfish to them, but it still seems like there's some sort of sense of do right or wrong by a person.
Exactly. It's not like a perfected thing. It's like it works just enough to like have gotten us to this point where we have like fucking microphones.
I feel it's more like a fresh slate thing.
You think so?
Yeah, because like what if like a person's like just like
you can take a kid and fuck him up for sure.
You can like what do you do if you just like don't do anything to them though? What do they become?
That's why we don't do it. Because like if we did that to kids, it's like we wouldn't be here. But
it's almost like if like they could sustain for themselves and like survive to like adulthood, like what would happen if you just like had a kid and then just put him in the desert? Like are they gonna have they're gonna develop their own sense of morality,
right? Which
is, especially if they're by themselves, inherently linked to just like surviving.
Yeah.
And then if you bring them into society,
a creature will do whatever it takes to survive.
It's going to turn into a creature.
It'll develop its own like code to survive.
It's an interesting premise or concept because like humans are such social creatures. You know, even I don't know. There's something about like at least learning. The way we learn is from other people for the most part, and so I don't know. I feel like that human would probably learn from animals or something around him.
It would pick up on, it would imprint on something.
He'd just be Mowgli. Yeah.
Mowgli?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's get back to the movie.
I feel like that was the purpose of this movie, though.
I
feel like it was supposed to make us have that conversation.
I remember you said that, like the conversation on this will be interesting. But yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. That was fun. But I could talk forever about
that stuff's really
it's kind
fun.
of giving me anxiety, to be honest.
It gives you anxiety. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Is there anything else you guys want to say about this movie?
I'd like to like take some mushrooms and talk about this movie.
That would be fucking cool.
I'm still gonna watch the rest of the trilogy.
Yeah,
let us know what happens.
Yeah.
I'd like to. When you watch it, let me know.
No worries.
You guys want to rate it?
I don't remember a lot about the movie, so I'm not I'm not gonna give it a rating.
You're abstaining.
I gave it a like on Letterboxd. I
You
like
gave it a like on Letterboxd.
That's funny. You got a rating?
Yeah, I'll give it a. I'll give it a 4.
Just a 4.
Out of 7.
4 7. Okay, that's solid. I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. Is that funny?
Yeah.
Why was it funny?
Yeah, just the way you said it.
Okay.
Like, you
Give
said
it
it
a
really
7.
like.
You were loaded.
I know I had it figured out. Yeah, 7 out of 10.
That was funny when we were that night. We watched From Dusk Till Dawn, and what
Still gotta
you
finish
asked
it.
us something about the Bible, right?
I said, "What's your Bible?"
That's what I was saying.
What's your Bible? And then
I was like, "My Bible is South Park."
You had it loaded. But the funniest part about it is that like you let us go on our thing and then you're like, oh, that's not what that's not what I meant, but I like that you guys said that, and then you're like, I guess I'll go. And I thought you were gonna say it like us, you know what I mean? And then that's when you tease you up for it. That was great.
That's fun. All right, we'll move on to. You just want to end on El Duce or Fat Girl?
what'd you guys watch in order?
I watched
I did.
I watched Fat Girl last.
I watched El Duce last.
I watched El Duce last too.
So we can do we
Fat
can do El
Girl?
Duce
Or Fat.
we can do El Duce last. if you guys
Okay,
want.
you want to do Fat Girl?
We can do Fat Girl. I'm gonna enjoy this.
So-
this discussion's good.
I remember I heard about Fat Girl because the last time there was a Criterion Collection sale, I went on Barnes and Noble and I scrolled through the entirety of like their Criterion Collection
Yeah.
just to see like if there's anything interesting. And I remember seeing a movie called Fat Girl, and a movie with that name just like it pops out.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I wonder if it has the same like resonance in French.
oh, that's actually really interesting. The DVD I got in there, they talk in like the Criterion pamphlet. They talk about the title. There's like a whole section where she talks
What
about
do they
it.
say?
So Fat Girl, like the lady's French, and I guess she just wanted to like call it Fat Girl. Like,
Yeah.
I guess she, to an extent, she has to know English. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she wanted to call it Fat Girl because she said there's just something like almost musical about it. That's the way she described it in like the little interview they
Very
had.
French of her.
Where yeah, but I guess there wasn't like a translation into French that she liked. So also too,
Ooh.
she didn't want to name the movie Fat Girl, just with like the casting of it,
Yeah.
because like she had to cast that one girl based on like her physical appearance.
Yeah, I'm sure she didn't.
And
feel
it's
too good
like,
about that.
do you want to go in this movie called Fat Girl? You know, like so they had like some working titles for it, and then the French title, I can't pronounce it, but it's something along the lines of like To My Sister, and that works because the movie's
Yeah, it
about
works,
that
yeah.
too. But I remember seeing Fat Girl and I'm like, huh, this is really like the name gets you.
Yeah.
And I remember just looking up a few things about it, and I kind of got the impression that it's like a Gaspar Noé movie. Like, it's like kind of fucked up movie. So I'm like, okay. And then we were at Zia, and I saw it there, and I'm like, seems like a Zia movie. Seems
It's
like
the
a good.
time. Yeah, it's
this is
finally
the
the
time.
time.
So,
This is the time.
what'd you guys think of it?
I thought it was great.
I thought it was great too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
You're right though about the title. I remember when we all said our titles, and you just go Fat Girl.
Yeah.
Everybody check out the video.
it's a good video.
The last minute of
I'll
it.
I'll
I'm
link it
sorry.
on the description on this one.
It
Yeah, I thought it was a really.
was impactful.
Yeah, it was impactful. I really liked it. I mean,
very effective.
what was your guys' reaction
It's-
for like the whole movie up until the ending?
You see, I thought, well, I thought up until the ending point, I liked it, but in the same way I liked, was Beau Travail.
Yeah,
It felt very like a meditative like experience on like some sort of like sexual youth.
Yeah,
like, sort
that's
of
what I
thing.
thought too.
But I liked that shit. I liked how it looked too.
Yeah.
Shot on film, but very very plain in a sense, you know.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about that too, because like, I feel like a lot of times, like people criticize movies that are about rich people
Mhm.
or like wealthy people, but to me, it's like the same as like watching like The Lord of the Rings or something like that, because
Mhm.
like most people don't live a life like that or know what that's
Yeah.
like, you know. And to see it, it feels like you're putting a human in a different world,
Mhm.
right? And so to me, those movies kind of interest me if you do it in the right way. It feels meditative, like this one.
Yeah.
And I just like the way that the sequences went out, like when the older sister would have sex and shit like that. I don't know. You never see you never see it explicit, not in like terms of like content, but explicit in terms of like spelling out like that's the shit guys would say to get laid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that scene was amazing. That's probably the best scene in the movie.
Exactly.
I think.
And so you're like, dang, you know, I thought it was great.
Yeah.
And then when the twist happened, I was all there for it too.
Yeah, me too.
I fucking loved it. I love that shit too.
Did you say what the fuck?
Yes.
Yeah,
I said it out
I
loud.
remember saying like I was like fuck yeah. I was like, this is fucking sick. Yeah, the first time you see that dude, it's just like I knew instantly what was happening.
I
was so
rewinded
ready.
it. I rewinded it a
Yeah.
few times. Just a guy runs out of nowhere, and he actually fucking breaks the window too
Yeah,
with an
fucking
axe.
cool.
That was
You
intense.
see, I thought that it felt like something was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like in the last the
It did. The whole
like,
build up
on
is
the
like,
drive
God.
there, you know.
Oh.
the way
But
go ahead, go.
when the sister like just like snuck out of the car, I thought she
Yeah.
was gonna get kidnapped or something.
Yeah.
And then she comes back, and I guess like I guess that's the movie. Like it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's like,
And-
that's the movie.
yeah. but then yeah, at first it's just like kind of fucked up, but then it gets to like that certain like fucked up peak where you're like, this is where it has to be.
Yeah.
This is the only place it could have
How can
gone.
it
You know.
go anywhere else,
When the main character, you know, gets raped and all that, I'm like, of course. I don't know.
That's so-
I don't know. I don't know if
That's such
what
an
to say.
interesting. Like, remember the Kurt Vonnegut video, like showing the like the emotional peaks and valleys. Like, Fat Girl's like, you know, the peaks and valleys are pretty tame. It's like very like mundane, like real life stuff. It's like real life stuff. It's like I can see a girl.
It is
actually
real
going
life,
through
yeah.
Like, that probably happens pretty commonly. But then it gets to the ending and like it just has to be huge to make it great. Like to make up for that, it has to be like a huge.
Yeah,
Fucking it
if
is.
an average
To
movie
make it
like
a great movie, yeah.
goes like between like a 5 and a 6, but this
Yeah.
one's like at like a 3 or a 4.
Yeah.
The ending puts you at a 9 or a 10.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, that whole like the last like 20 minutes, like them driving. I remember just watching the shots. It's like the way like the film language is just like it putting me on edge. Like they stayed on like they would linger on like shots of her like turning into a different lane around like trucks and stuff.
Or
It
just even the
felt like something
shot
was gonna happen.
of their face, you know, and just hotboxing the cigarette shit, you know.
Yeah.
You know it's disgusting.
Yeah.
I felt like there was gonna be like a really fucked up car crash or something.
Me too.
Yeah, that's what I
you
thought.
know, and
yeah.
I'm like, oh shit. I was like, I don't want to see this.
Yeah.
You know.
What about Crash? You said you like seeing car crashes.
Yeah. It makes you nervous though.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
did.
there's those scenes where you're seeing her through like the rear view mirror, and she
Yeah.
kind of drives really aggressively. And I thought like, there's those scenes with the big semi trucks, and it's like,
Yeah,
she gonna get
exactly,
just run over
That's
by
what I
one of
thought,
these
too.
things. And then there's like a line in there where the sister says something along the lines of like, I wish I was dead.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I thought like, is she gonna like turn the wheel for her mom or something,
Yeah.
drive him off the road, something fucked up like that? And then that whole rest stop scene just kind of, it's weird.
I think just
It
thinking
throws
about,
you off.
Thinking about it now, just like I think it's really just like the language of the movie in those parts, because it's like normally a movie like they have the dialogue and then they stop talking and it just stays on them.
It's
like
quiet.
in the car. It's like quiet.
There's-
It's like
yeah.
like and like when you're watching a movie, it's like all right, they're like usually you'd be done. Like they'd cut to something
You,
else.
you cut before the scene's over.
And I remember watching it and thinking like, why are they still here? Like this is very purposeful. Like, why are they still
Yeah.
here? And, like even like the rest stop, it's like we're watching them sleep. It's like, why are we still here?
This
Like, this is very purposeful. But
this is what the right way to do what this transient life was doing,
Yeah,
where every scene's
yeah.
just long.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? But this one,
Yeah.
it is like, it must be long for a reason.
Yeah, I felt that way. And that reason was just to put us on edge, like emotionally. I think that's why
They blue-balled us really
They blue
well,
balled
you
us
know.
in a really cool way.
That's something like kind of hard to write too.
It is,
because
yeah.
it takes like, how long would you say like that emotion lasts in the movie? About 15 minutes or so.
something like that. Yeah,
You can't write 15 pages of that. I feel
it's hard.
you
It's
just
like-
have to say like they're driving for a while,
Like
and it's supposed to be intense.
Yeah,
Like it's something very visual.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
yeah. It's very just like she's driving. She changes lanes. There's trucks around her.
It doesn't
Yeah.
jump off the page.
you
Yeah.
read it and you're like, okay, what the fuck? This is boring.
Yeah.
Change it.
Yeah.
But, I really the way it ends too with like, she gets raped,
Yeah.
And it ties together really well with the beginning of the
yeah.
movie, where she's talking about, I want the first person that I have sex with to be someone I don't love.
Yeah.
The part is,
It's so fucking.
It's so fucking cool.
What did you think anything when she said that line at the beginning? Like,
Yeah, I thought she would just
paid-
fuck a random person though.
Yeah,
Like,
I remember hearing it, and like there are two different philosophies on it, but like their actions are different. Like she's fat, not very attractive, but like has a very promiscuous view on sex and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And then the sister's good looking, like has a very like she's comes off as like very tame, but like here she is like going after a college student as a sophomore in high school. Keep going. Yeah.
that plays off well too with just like the differences between the two sisters.
It's a good dichotomy.
Because like they definitely make fun of each other. They have to tease each other in terms of like their physical appearances.
Yeah.
Where like Anais probably makes fun of her to the extent of like calling her like a whore and things like
Yeah.
that. And Elena always kind of has like the I got you on it though.
Yeah.
Cuz she's not going to like get with guys when she looks like that.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? It's fucked up, but like that's just like the
reality.
way it is.
Yeah.
And she's always going to like have that extra punch on her where it's like I'm better than you.
Yeah.
You know, and you got to just like sit there and like get stuck with it.
Get
And then
cucked.
that's why it makes like those scenes. I feel like the hardest scene in a way is that scene where they're having sex and it's just Anais and then them
Yeah.
having sex in the background. And earlier in that scene, she says something like, I don't care how long you guys like are together as long as you don't keep me awake. And then they end up getting together and she's just over there crying. And it's
Yeah.
like, that's like the ultimate like fuck you from her sister to her
Yeah,
in a way.
it's like really hard.
She feels that. She feels that way at least.
well, that's the scene where the sister actually loses her virginity.
Yes.
And it feels like Anais is losing her innocence too.
Yeah.
It feels like she's experiencing it.
It's like
you know?
super disrespectful
Yeah.
to do to somebody else.
Ugh. And I mean, she's like what, 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
13.
You know, like the thoughts you have when you're that age, and especially like
Yeah.
if you're probably not like
Fully
she's
developed.
not. Yeah, and it's like I'm never gonna get to that point in my life, and my sister's already doing it and rubbing it in, and that's just so like nasty.
Yeah.
Doing it in the same room
Yeah.
as like your fat sister.
But not even just that, but they have this whole conversation about it too. You know, like
yeah, like she can hear all the different like the pillow talk. and
Oh
stuff.
Yeah.
God.
And it's like not even like good pillow talk. It's very just like
It's
desperate.
It's,
and, like,
it's
pathetic.
creepy.
It's
Yeah,
rapey,
it's
That
It's super, like-
that scene's really uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Where he's trying to convince her,
yeah.
and you
Yeah.
can tell she's like not feeling it, but she's not feeling it. You know,
No. Yeah, that was good dialogue there.
that's like had to be hard to act too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Definitely.
and then it's just one fucking shot.
yeah.
Yeah, they're-
long
it's
take.
It's like a
all long
6 or
takes,
7 minute
yeah.
shot.
even like reverse shot stuff was just like each like reverse shot was like super long too. It's
It
like
was- it was-
you just see somebody's the back of somebody's head for a long time.
Yeah.
And then, so I read a few things about it, and like
Okay.
the way you're supposed to understand it is that first time basically, she doesn't agree to have sex with him,
Mhm.
but then they end up like
They do
having
anal.
like anal
Yeah.
intercourse. Intercourse.
Yeah.
That's a funny word. Sorry.
Say it 20 times.
Really?
No. But yeah, what about it?
It's just
Yeah, I thought I got that from the first watch. I didn't have to read up on it.
I
read
wasn't
that.
I wasn't. Yeah, at first I was kind of like, what happened?
Yeah.
But that's just like kind of gross too.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and then he tries to tell her like it's not the first time. He just like got off and then like, cause they have sex and then he tries to leave
Mhm.
and he like does some sort of like manipulating with her there.
Yeah.
Where he's saying like, I don't know if I can see you again. I forget. Do you guys remember the dialogue in that scene?
He said something along the lines of like, I don't think we should be together. This is awkward.
Yeah.
We're too young.
He also talked about how like if he gets caught, he'll be seen differently in Spain. It'd like ruin his reputation.
Yeah, you can't do this in
Yeah.
Romania or
Or
wherever.
wherever the fuck he's from, yeah. Oh, I also like the part where Anais is in the pool.
And she kisses.
She kisses
yeah.
like the little pole, and then she goes to, like the fucking railing. She's like cheating on the inanimate pull objects.
Yeah.
The part was funny as fuck.
It's funny. Like, did it make you laugh?
Yeah, it made me laugh.
Oh, fuck.
Because she's all like, oh yeah, I had sex with him. Don't worry. Like it made me a better woman or some shit like that. Like, didn't make me looser. It just made me more experienced. You get to have all that right now.
Those scenes.
It was like poetic in
Yeah.
a sort of sense.
It was
It felt French, you know
It's
what
like,
I mean?
It's like the way that's like a French prostitute type deal. It's like they're all poetic over there.
She is like a smart girl, though. There's
Yeah,
that
she was
scene
smart,
where she's
yeah.
singing that poem when they're on the beach.
I was trying to pay attention to the lyrics there, but
I mean, I lost them
couldn't.
too. Yeah.
I remember them being really fucked up.
Yeah, they were. It was just
Were they
I just
really?
remember it's like, yeah, it felt.
Saying like I'm gonna be
I'm gonna
alone.
check the audio really quick.
Like, let me see if I can find that song. That'd be really interesting, actually.
Okay, why you look for that song?
Actually,
Why you look for that song?
Donda.
Yeah.
That had to be a hard role to act, I imagine.
Yeah, I bet.
Oh.
Okay. She did a good job though. I think the performances were actually really fucking good.
Really, really.
They were really good.
Oh, definitely.
Oh man, the fucking one of the songs in the beginning. It's like I think it was a Spanish song. I'm not too sure. I think it was a Spanish song, and they're just like walking through the street, and they go up to the cafe. I saved it.
Really?
Yeah, I liked it.
It's kind of like a funky song.
Not too funky. It's like funky, kind of like not really super conventional funky, not like bass funky or anything. But I like that song.
I like the song they play over the credits, the pop song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it makes you feel kind of weird. You know, you see all this like depraved shit, and then there's like a really upbeat type of.
I felt upbeat when the movie ended. That was like the most
Exactly.
upbeat ending I think that we could have had.
I've set my heart to rot away on the windowsill. On the windowsill. I trust in a future day. The crows may come. I hope they will. With their beaks so fleet, they will peck away at this lump of raw meat. It's like
Wow.
some Gog for Lucifer.
Yeah, it is.
Over which you thought you held sway, I've set my heart to rot away. On the windowsill, for the joyless joy of the day, my worries fall still. If you see the flock of crows fighting over it, throw them not a rock, for I am not worth a bit. I've set my heart to rot
Wow.
away. On the windowsill,
That's
I
pretty
trust
cool.
in future day when the crows come, if they will. With their beaks so fleet, they will peck away at this lump of raw meat over which you thought you held sway.
That's pretty cool.
It's fucked up, you know? And she's like 12.
Yeah. So what was your guys' reaction to the dude?
At the end?
killer, yeah. I like how I remember seeing that and thinking like,
Well, at first I thought he was gonna like rape the mom or
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
other
Yeah.
sister, you know. I thought that she was just gonna witness it and just like walk away.
yeah.
She kills Elena right away, too.
Yeah, like,
Or
it
he
seemed
does.
Like,
Yeah.
That was pretty
it was good. It was well done. I remember thinking it was well done.
It looks impactful,
Yeah.
you know. And then there's a scene where you see like her head kind of cut open,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
that was pretty creepy. What do you think of him like raping her?
I thought it was like perfect.
Yeah, but like,
Cause like she was talking about it at the beginning. I remember the second I saw like she was singled out, I was like, all right, she's gonna have sex. She's gonna lose her virginity right here. I was like, that's a pretty. I mean, it's super graphic, but it's like.
why do you think he chooses like her? Or he's just a crazy guy?
He's just a crazy
Yeah.
guy. I remember seeing him show up, like raping her. I'm like, this is like the manliest man in this movie. Like, men in this movie are pretty pathetic. Like, the dad's like kind of lame as fuck. The dude is
Yeah.
just like this creep. And like finally, this dude's like, all right, this dude's like a real man. Like he
goes back to
fucking
your-
destroys, pillages, and rapes.
Oh my god.
Like super caveman. And he looks like a caveman just with.
He
clothes.
looks creepy.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. There's like a shot of like Anais looking at him when his RV pulls in.
Yeah.
And there's something just
Oh, that's his RV.
a little off about
Oh,
it.
dang, I didn't even
I
realize.
feel like there's like some shit dangling in like his like in his like the front of his car that
Like
looked
the
kind of
front
weird.
cabin or whatever.
Yeah.
Driver's seat, cockpit, driver's seat, whatever.
And then it's just a shot from the back seat and someone runs up and fucking
Yeah.
whacks it with an axe, and then he breaks it, and then it's almost like he doesn't even look at her. Either
Yeah.
he knew like Elena was sitting right there, or he was just gonna fucking kill whoever was
Yeah.
right there, and he destroys her.
Oh, what did you guys think of when they found Anais and it has that like freeze frame, she says like he didn't.
You can
rape
believe
me.
me.
You don't have
or
to believe
not.
me if you
Yeah.
don't want to.
Yeah, but he said that he didn't rape her.
Do you need a moment?
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Take
I
it.
noticed.
This is definitely a screen tongue movie.
Yeah, dude, this is.
This
I
is
remember
like-
watching it, and I was like, when I got to the end, I was like, this is such an Elijah movie.
Yeah.
Like the feeling I had in this movie reminded me a lot of like Funny Games,
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very like, ugh.
like long takes, like
Long,
very just like
yeah.
very like super simple, but like still super effective, and like it's like it's such a, it's weird how it's like it's such a like you could really only do that in like a movie, you know, like have like the
Yeah.
film language like that, like
Yeah.
the long shots of the car.
It's not even something that like I think you can communicate as effectively like in prose.
Yeah.
You know,
Like,
it's
a-
something you have to see.
Yeah, a book can't really do it as
No,
effectively.
no. Because like in a movie, you can just like hold a shot there.
Yeah.
In a
books,
book, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's just
you
like
know?
you just describe what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Or like even Funny Games, like you can't do like the
rewind.
spoiler. Yeah, the rewind
Sorry.
scene. Spoiler. In Funny Games, you can't do the rewind scene in a book.
No, no.
Yeah.
I mean, like even at the end too, like keep talking about, but that scene where he like breaks the glass, like
Yeah.
you could say that in a book, but seeing it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
You know, you don't read something like that and think like, oh, that was cool.
I think what was so cool about that was just like seeing him coming up with the axe, or and then going and like bashing the window. It's like you're not thinking, you're just like reacting. Like you're just seeing it as like, oh, this is happening. This is happening.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't thinking. I was just like, oh. And then you see her dying, like, oh fuck. And then you start thinking. Like that first few seconds, like you can't do that in a book, really.
No,
You
it
can
was
get
almost
kinda
like a
close.
jump scare.
Yeah.
But like the perfect way to have a jump
It's
scare.
like a real jump scare. Like that's like
Yes.
that's like a real life jump scare.
Yes.
That was
Yes.
cool. It's like a like
Yeah,
that's jump
you
scares
have
in real
those
life.
moments in life where all of a sudden you see something, you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know, your brain, you're just confused.
Yeah.
You're receiving
Like,
like
you're
too
just-
much
you're just
information
reacting,
too
you're just
quickly.
reacting. Yeah, it's super cool.
Very experiential movie.
Yeah, it's like this
Where-
movie. This is just like a movie. You can't do this in any other form. of
It
media,
was.
really.
I'd like to check out some of her other stuff, even though this seems like to be the movie that she's known for.
Yeah.
All her movies are supposed to kind of be like weird sex movies in a way.
Oh, okay.
Just from like some things I've read about them.
She's pretty good at
She
it.
has this one movie that came out after this called like Sex as a Comedy,
Yeah.
and
LA
I
was
read-
in it.
oh really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool. It's supposed to be influenced from like the awkwardness of directing like a sex scene from Fat Girl. I think probably the scene where he like the first scene
Yeah.
where he like kind of manipulates her. Sorry.
You're all good.
It was a good depiction of like adolescence.
Yeah.
Sexual
I agree.
adolescence.
How did you guys like the colors in the movie? Like what colors do you think of in this movie?
Pastels.
Pastels, yeah.
And that's what I guess I like visually about it. Like,
Yeah.
The feeling of plainness in such an unplain setting. I guess
It felt like it was very cool. Like the temperature
yes,
was like mostly cool.
Mm.
Yes, that's the perfect way to
Yeah.
describe it.
Kind of like light blue.
Light blue, yeah.
Yeah.
There's,
I guess sorry, what were you gonna say?
I'd say the only thing that was like warm was like the intro where she's like singing and it's like all the titles and stuff.
Mhm.
That was the only stuff that was warm. I thought that was interesting.
I think the titles come up over like a red
It's like-
background.
It's like her looking to a fire or some shit.
Yeah.
And then the font and the color of the text is like red.
That they play that song they play at the end
Yeah,
at the
yeah.
beginning.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really cool balance though, just like a sibling rivalry type of movie.
Mhm.
Aside from the way the movie ends.
And that's what's so interesting is that like you could have a movie like this that ends in the way it does, but with just fluff or whatever
Yeah.
up until then, right?
That's what I.
It's not- yeah, it's not fluff.
Good.
But that's the whole thing that's so awesome about this movie is that it presents such an interesting dynamic between siblings. You know.
Yeah.
I guess I also like movies kind of like this that
Yeah.
that a dual character study, I guess you could
Yeah,
say.
like dichotomy stuff. is
Yeah.
cool.
But you kind of learn about one character through the other character's experiences.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it. And it's really good. What was I gonna say? Oh, what I really like about this movie is you can almost see them like discussing it. You'd be like, it's got a bunch of bullshit. It's got it's like very slice of life, but the ending,
Yeah.
It's like you can hear them saying like
you
the
hear the
ending,
pitch.
You
You
can
can
hear the
pitch.
pitch. Yeah. It's like they explain the general premise, but it's like and then it ends like this, and then everybody's like, oh shit, they have to make the movie.
I really like the conversations Anais and her sister have.
Yeah,
They feel like
it's kind of tripping me up right now because I have one of my friends from California that I had over this weekend. Her name is Anais.
Really?
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's like a really like not common name.
No, yeah.
Oh.
That was that was like the only time I've ever seen. Oh,
Yeah, that's interesting.
in this movie, and then the sister in the Gumball, the cartoon network.
The Amazing.
Amazing World
Oh.
of Gumball. The sister
Wow.
in that is also named Anais.
Really?
Yeah.
The pink one?
The pink girl. Yeah. Her name's
I didn't
Anais.
even know that.
I didn't remember that.
Yeah. The only reason why I would remember that is just because I know somebody named Anais.
Yeah. Do you have a preference over either sister? Which character do you
I like.
What? What kind of question?
That's a funny ass. That's an Elijah question.
Yeah.
Like, if we
The-
were to see a movie that just had one of these characters
Yeah.
in it, which
the
one?
the pretty sister is prettier.
Well, yeah.
And the fat girl, she's cool. She's like pretty chill. I feel like it'd be cool to be friends with her.
Which character did you
Yeah,
think was
she'd be
more
a good friend.
interesting?
Oh, the fat girl is interesting.
Yeah.
Definitely interesting. She
Definitely.
had like very interesting. Like I would be like, oh, come on my podcast. I would like have her hang out here all day. It's like I'm not gonna have sex with you, but like just hang out here.
I'm not gonna.
Well, if she's 13, I'm not even gonna say that.
It's a very it's something that people definitely think about
Yeah.
when you're at that age, and it's not something that most movies
Explore.
talk about
Yeah.
because it's
Yeah.
like it's kind of taboo in a way, even though like people do talk about it, and it's cool to see a movie that does it really well.
Yeah, I agree. Anything else you guys want to talk about in this movie?
There's that scene where like she brings over, I forget the guy's name, but the college dude, and they're like all at the table and her parents are kind of cool with it, and then
Yeah,
Anais just gets a bunch of food and Elena just says something to like in front of everyone,
you
like,
spoiled my appetite.
yeah,
You disgust me.
She's like, this is why you look like that. It's just something so fucked up to say, like,
Yeah, I agree.
and her parents don't even say anything about it.
No.
They're just kind of like, yeah.
The parents kind of suck.
Well, no, because they
Her
say
parents
like,
are assholes.
Yeah.
she has a hormone. It's hormonal.
Yeah.
You don't make fun of her.
But then they like don't defend her or anything.
No.
They're kind of like, they view her as like a nuisance.
Which
Yeah.
it's strange too that they're on vacation, but like
They're also like
none of them
miserable.
are enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's so much that the father's like, all right, I'm going back to work.
Yeah. Man, the dad when he gets the news, he's gonna have like a. I don't know, he's
He
gonna
was there
kill
at the
himself.
end.
Oh yeah, huh?
Yeah, she told him and the police officers that. right?
Yeah, he's not gonna be happy.
No.
Because then like, he probably dislikes Anais the most, and now
Yeah.
he's stuck with her.
He's stuck with her. She's
And-
definitely the most interesting though.
Oh yeah. That's why it's called Fat Girl.
Yeah, of course.
I really liked it though. I'm glad I recommended
Me
it.
too. This is a cool
Um,
movie.
It's probably my favorite of the three.
Yeah,
mine too.
yeah. Seems like it doesn't have too many ratings on IMDb.
How many people watched it? Do you remember?
Not more than like
something.
10,000, I think.
Okay.
But it also kind of seems to have like that, I don't know, a little bit of a cult following.
Yeah.
It won a pretty decent prize at a major film festival. Let me find it real fast.
I want to say it was the Venice one.
Yeah, I think it was.
What'd you guys think of her getting raped by a killer?
It was just like,
It's weird to say that I liked it.
Me too. The song that she's like singing in the beginning credits, there's a lyric in it where it's like she's like so lonely she just wants somebody in her life and that she doesn't care, and there's like I'll take anybody, even like a werewolf. It kind of reminded me of the serial killer a little bit. Like
yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's just like an
Well-
incredibly dramatic irony.
Yeah. Just incredible dramatic irony.
What's interesting too is that her reaction to the event happening, you know, she doesn't really fight back or anything.
No.
It's not like she likes it either, but it's just like it looks like she's just like witnessing.
Yeah.
It looks like she's
She's in shock.
she's
a
in
little
like
bit.
in shock or like in
Yeah.
third person things, just seeing the shit. I don't even know.
Would you show this movie to people?
Yeah. Yeah, I would just for the reaction to the ending. Like that's totally worth it. People would be like, this movie sucks. Like, just wait. Just wait.
Just wait.
Then we get to the highway at the end. It's like, just wait. Just wait.
It doesn't suck, but it's
No.
just kind of like it'd be uncomfortable to watch with people,
Yeah,
especially the
exactly.
scenes where like
The creepy
he's like
scenes.
He's
Yeah.
like trying to sweet talk her and saying like I love you and shit. And
Yeah.
Not a first date movie.
No.
Unless she's like a really artsy girl.
Or you just want to like piss her off.
Yeah.
Check this out.
All right, ratings
I think I'd give it like an 8 or a 9.
out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it an 8.9.
8.9.
8.9. It's like pretty. It's a great movie. It's like I feel hesitant saying great, but it's like it definitely is like feels like such a.
Would you
Like,
put it
such
in
a
like a
solid
top
movie.
10 list of your favorite movies from the 2000s?
Maybe I'd have to. I need to start making.
That's a
organize
broad
it, yeah.
question, but
Maybe.
like okay, if
Definitely
you did
French movies.
Yeah, definitely for French
if you
movies, yeah.
did like your top 10 movies from like whatever year it came out, like 2001,
Oh,
it'd get like
totally,
an
yeah.
honorable mention
Yeah,
probably.
100%.
You know.
Oh yeah, totally.
Um,
Anthony, Rudy,
I'd probably give this like a 38 out of 45.
that's pretty solid.
what'd you write on Letterboxd for it?
What did I put? Let's see.
I really like your descriptions.
I have so much to log, so you're in for some treats.
Okay. How many fucked up European movies have we talked about?
On Screen Time?
Yeah.
Like that we've watched or like just talked about?
Like requested.
Oh, so Fat Girl, would Holy Mountain count as one?
Yeah, that's fair.
Holy Mountain 2.
Um,
Oh wait,
I
is Holy
s-
Mountain? You said
No,
European.
that one-
yeah,
that's
Mexican.
South
Oh,
American.
fuck.
Yeah, I forgot.
I said.
I thought.
European.
You want to just say foreign?
I said okay,
or
yeah.
European.
I guess so.
They got me.
They got me. Funny games.
Funny games.
Funny
yeah.
games. I would say foreign. Yeah, foreign.
Foreign. All right, so Holy Mountain.
Police
Perfect.
Story.
No.
Or are you talking about European ones?
Like
just
fucked
fucked
up.
up ones.
Oh, fucked up. I thought you were doing foreign movies.
Would you put Naked on there? It's not super.
I wouldn't
fucked up.
say. Yeah, it's not like. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's too fucked up.
Oh, Pichot.
Pichot.
Pichot's kinda fucked
Perfect
up.
Blue.
Perfect Blue.
Border.
Butcherval.
It was. Yeah, the more I think about, or I don't think about that movie too much, but when I like recollect it, it's like
Yeah.
didn't do too much for me.
Just that ending scene.
I really like that song.
too.
That song, I added it on my Spotify.
Oh, tight. I might do that too.
That's a good song to listen to when you're driving.
I'll try. I'll give it a shot.
You got all of Dawn to listen to. When are you gonna
Yeah.
have time for that?
I know.
You gonna move on to El Duce?
El Duce.
Yeah. No
All right, so El Duce, we were in Zia. I saw the cover. I saw the description. I thought it was interesting. Had no idea what it was about. Never heard of El Duce or the what are they called?
Oh, the Mentors.
Mentors.
The
Never heard of the
Mentors.
Mentors. Never listened to music. Never seen any interviews or anything. I was like, all right, you know what? Let's watch this and learn. Oh, and also because it was like a bunch. They found the tapes.
It was actual found footage.
It was legitimately found footage.
That's cool.
That's right. Like it was actual found footage. I was like, you know, fuck it, let's learn and watch something. There were certain aspects of it that were really interesting. Like the editing was interesting, but there were some parts where like it kind of lost me with some of the pacing and stuff. Like especially around like the middle. Like it reminded me of like being in screenplay class. Like the second act is where it gets muddled. The middle kind of felt like a little bit muddled to me. But there's still a lot that I enjoyed. El Duce is like incredibly entertaining.
Yeah.
Like there's
He's a
nothing-
character.
Yeah, there's nothing about that dude that isn't like shocking.
He's really funny. He is.
He's got some good. Oh, dude, the first interview they show, or one of the first interviews, where it's like, I got raped in the '70s. Like, would you say that was about 20 years ago? And he's like, yeah, about then. He's like, where were you at? And he's like, Seattle. I was like, oh, like he, you know, I
Oh,
feel
no,
kind of familiar.
Yeah.
But he's funny.
Oh, a girl was talking to him?
The one
mom.
interview, the mom, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
She's
yeah.
like, oh, I got raped about
It's
20
really
years
funny
ago.
when he goes on like those Jerry Springer shows.
Yeah,
and
that's
like
what it was,
people
yeah.
are saying shit to him, and then he's just like, yeah.
What'd you guys think?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I
thought
really
I
enjoyed
thought
it.
was
You know.
a great watch. You know, I'm glad I checked it out.
Did you check out any of the special features on it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. But they looked. They all had interesting names. All the special features.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of the music?
Their music.
Their music.
Their music?
Yeah.
Their music was funny.
It was funny.
You know, it was like you can't really take it seriously.
Nah.
They're not saying like good shit in
If
there.
anything, it's a bit ahead of its time. You know.
It might. Yeah.
It's like, I think of like Pink Guy or something like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Even if even if he didn't listen to El Duce, like people definitely got that sense of humor
Mm-hmm.
in the future, and that was like a thing about El Duce.
What's
they
that?
say at the end, kind of like he was just very influential.
Yeah.
You know.
Like it wasn't big or anything, but like people who knew about him just kind of.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
breaks
really
doors.
stuck
He
with
lays
him.
the foundation.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
They're like, you know, when people say like your favorite band's favorite band, like he
Yeah,
wasn't the
yeah.
favorite band, but like people
He was like,
liked
yeah,
him,
exactly.
You know.
It's a great way to
It-
describe him.
He was. Their music's kind of like.
It sounded kind of repetitive.
Yeah,
That's
the lyrics
something-
are like poetic a little bit
Yeah.
though. Yeah, well, they're good at getting him to rhyme.
Yeah, they just rhyme.
Yeah.
It's just surprising. You're surprised that he makes these
It
words
flows.
rhyme.
Yeah.
The music sounds like good like mosh pit music.
Yeah,
where like
totally,
you don't
yeah.
listen to it too much, and then you hear him say something kind of funny in there. And
I wish we could there was more footage, or like we could hear him like play the actual like drums, you know, like
Yeah.
they say he's actually amazing, but it was hard to really
Yeah, there's
tell.
too
from
much
the-
footage of like. I wanted to see more experiences than
Yeah.
like, because it felt very like heavily edited, very contained. I wanted to get more just like experiences.
it turns
like,
into
just
like
watching
the El
stuff.
Duce story.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. That's a good
The,
way to put
the
it.
first half of the movie is like, okay, look at all this like cool controversial shit he did, and then the second half is like his life sucked.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it goes from just like putting the footage together to find a narrative in the footage and
Yeah.
Mhm.
following it. And I think that's why the second act or the middle gets a little muddled, because it takes a second to pick up on a new flow.
Yeah, it did take a while.
Because I feel like, at least when I was watching, I thought that it was just kind of like going to follow the guy recording and his experience
thought
through
too.
it.
That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
But then they kind of go out of that into more of
like other people's footage.
the
and
El
stuff.
Duce story.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish it was more just like showing stuff than like, because there's some parts where it did feel like telling us. But I mean, it was kind of like more of like a documentary than like a movie.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
where it's like, I guess, in a sense, that's what you ask for when you go to a documentary,
much,
right?
yeah.
Is to get the biography.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was I gonna say?
But like even for like documentaries, like what was the one that you said, American Made or whatever it's called?
American Movie.
American Movie.
It just got on the Criterion
Like,
channel.
how was like the pacing on that? Oh, I'm gonna check it out. How was the pacing in that documentary?
I feel like this happens in all documentaries,
Mhm.
where like a lot of times when you watch a good documentary, the first act or first half hour, like it's just like, whoa, this is real life, you know,
Yeah.
and you get sucked into, and you're like, it got to keep this. And I'd say like
It just slows down.
85 to 90% of the time you're watching a documentary, it's just gonna slow down. You know, you gotta get used to that.
Gotcha.
But American Movie, I feel like does it in a better way, where like, kind of like what this one promises, it feels like just like following like the camera guy
Yeah.
through it. That's what American Movie does. Like, you get a little bit of like the biography and like the more of the story,
Yeah.
but like, I think part of that also in El Duce comes from like, it's like almost a 20-year retrospective on the events
Yeah,
that
yeah.
are being filmed.
I agree.
But yeah, I'd say my favorite, I talked about it before, what's it called? Hoop Dreams. That's the only documentary I've seen where like, and I guess I say that mostly because it's like, it's over 3 hours, but
Mhm.
you don't feel the 3 hours. And
Mm.
That sounds fun.
but most of the time when you see a documentary, it slows down at a certain point.
That's interesting. Yeah. I think El Duce. What do you guys think of El Duce as like a person?
I feel like I know of, not personally, but like I've seen people like this in history, or like
Yeah.
of stuff, you know, and I feel like it's a necessary part of the culture, it seems, at
Yeah.
a certain point. Like, I think if someone like Charles Bukowski or something too,
Yeah,
you know, where
yeah.
like I've been reading Ham on Rye,
Oh yeah.
and it's a great read, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But what it feels like is like, it definitely doesn't feel like he writes his shit sober. but
Yeah.
but
No, he
not
doesn't.
not in a way that it just like feels sloppy or anything like
Yeah.
that. But it feels like that part where you like reach a certain like level of
Flow.
yeah, just fucked upness that like it's
Yeah.
just like pure thought. That's why the sentences are short. Like
Yeah.
he did this. I looked at him. Whatever
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
And that's how I kind of feel about El Duce, where like he probably had some cool ideas or like he could have done something, but sometimes you just get lost in the sauce and
Yeah.
and
he got way lost in the sauce.
and that's what I feel from him and that it's impressive that he was still able to make an impression while being
Yeah.
as fucked up as he was. You know what I mean?
Towards the end, that one shot of him like taking his pants off and like
That's
him getting dragged
sad.
out. Even the way they like the music they chose there's some music they put in for.
They
to
have
make
like
it-
this one cue they always use right when it's about to get
The
like
drum-
serious
Yeah.
or sad.
Is it that like it's like that
I forget what it
drum
was
heavy
exactly.
song?
I don't even know.
It's the one played over like the main menu.
No, it was
Oh, okay.
No, it's like a synth.
It's like,
like
it's like
a-
yeah, it's like
It's
Oh,
like
okay.
It was made for
stereotypical
the-
documentary music.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay.
but like that was like a good climax for the movie, seeing him get dragged away.
That
Yeah,
part.
that was like the emotional high for me.
And then people are like laughing at him too.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of what like I think people viewed El Duce as. Like,
Yeah, it's just like this dude who just shocks people and you just watch this
Yeah.
monster.
I
And-
guess. Sorry, what were you saying?
No, basically.
Yeah.
I was
that.
just gonna say like, it makes me think about like the concept of performance art and all that shit.
Right,
Or,
yeah.
Or even the concept of celebrity.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah, I agree.
like how a lot of times like as a celebrity your job is to like sell an image
Mhm.
or a message or whatever the shit may be. But then it's like I guess what we're saying about getting lost in the sauce of like you just leave the mask on or whatever
Yeah.
and you get confused you're confusing yourself and then it seemed like even though he had people close to him they all seem to be a bit enablers,
Yeah.
and so when you don't have anyone that can like say what's real to you, I don't know, you get some interesting stuff to come out of it. Like I feel like half the amazing shit that's on that in history comes from crazy people.
Yeah.
But
for real.
but to have this intimate like portrait into it, it I wouldn't say it's good or bad, but it makes you think of like it just makes you realize it's never sustainable for anyone. But
Yeah.
in a sense, I don't know if it's bad to say you don't want it to stop. Like I feel like we
It's-
need some crazy people, but I don't want to subject
Yeah.
subject someone to going crazy.
I was thinking about that a lot with this movie, like especially celebrities. I'm glad you said that word, because like that there's a few scenes where it's like you see him drinking like so hard and it's just like disgusting. It's like repulsive.
Mhm.
It's almost like in his head you could tell he's just thinking I'm choosing to be El Duce. Like I'm just El Duce.
He's just
I'm gonna
giving
be
the
like
people
this.
what they want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like, especially if you're gonna be a celebrity, it's like you got to really think about how far you want to take that image, or like how you want to, especially an image like that. Like he chose a pretty hardcore image, like shock value, going up and saying stuff that's like could get you like lynched in other countries.
Mhm.
Like he's saying some stuff that's really just like putting him out there as a very different individual.
Or I
and
guess
choosing to be that all the time.
Yeah, it's part of like what you construct, but then how you push it. Because like they showed the other band Nar or whatever. the
Yeah.
fucking-
Guar.
Guar.
They said they were pushing it, but it's like
Guar, but like they would even say like we're Guar on stage, but here's
Yeah,
my name
yeah.
like off stage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shit like that. And so like it seems like there's a way to do it that's I don't want to say healthy, but like
Yeah. Reasonable.
There's
yeah,
like
reasonable.
There's like a segment in the movie where they ask like people like, do you think El Duce actually believes these things?
They all said no.
And most
Yeah.
most people are kind of like, no, not really.
Yeah.
But I guess that's but then it'll cut to him just down in the whole 40, and,
Yeah.
and saying the shit, and you're like,
Yeah.
and obviously he doesn't believe in it, but he has to get to a certain point where he'll just say it, right?
Yeah.
He'll even like do some of the interviews with that executioner
Hood.
hood on, and it's goofy.
Yeah. I like how he'll wear just like knitted fucking shirts underneath it.
Yeah.
He's like really just like country shit.
But it is, I don't know, as a person he's so interesting because like it's not even like the fucked upness or like the confusion he has, but just like reactions to things. Like when he was really sad he lost his house, he's like, yeah, I lost my whole pad and that sucked.
Yeah.
Or like when the guy kills himself, he's just like,
He kind of.
He shrugs it off. We had to kick him out anyway.
Yeah.
So.
What the stuff he did as a kid? I liked hearing him talk about his childhood stories.
That was actually really interesting too, because like, I imagine a lot of people who grew up around that time had similar things, you know, like pre-internet, pre-internet fucked upness, you know, like for at least for us, it seems like when someone like talks about it, like, oh yeah, when I was a kid, I saw some fucked up shit, like, but typically 9 times out of 10 it's on the computer or whatever shit, you know, and so it's like, okay, I can understand that, but like to really fathom like sneaking into your dad's porn dungeon or whatever shit, not a dungeon, but like the basement and all that shit, you know, shitting, like freezing your shit and or whatever they were doing,
putting all over the school.
Like, I don't know, that's like people these days, I don't know,
they don't
wouldn't do that.
Much, yeah.
He just accepted that persona. Why
am I?
Why?
That's because like some people just accept that persona of the weird guy.
Yeah.
And they run with it, even though like that doesn't make them feel good.
Yeah.
You know, but they get attention, and that's kind of like El Duce needed attention when he was a kid.
Ties in with Fat Girl, you know. It can be anybody. Bring someone to me. You know? It doesn't. Or I guess in terms of El Duce, it's like.
What if El Duce got with Anais?
Yeah, I'm dead. Yeah, he killed Kurt Cobain and then walked over.
That's my favorite scene in the movie. That builds up so well.
But then I like how it just cuts. He did not. Or
he did not kill.
El Duce did not kill Kurt.
Because I'd seen that footage before, and I'm like, oh shit, it's this guy.
Me too. Me too.
You didn't realize it at first when you watched it?
No, I didn't know. I didn't really know who El Duce was, and then I just like how El Duce's like, yeah, she asked me to kill him. Just like
she gave me a 12-gauge shotgun. You know,
just like it was out of the ordinary. Like Kurt Cobain wasn't like the biggest like rock star, like one of the biggest rock stars at the time. But
I'd also like what I was saying before, not just hearing him play the drums, but like hearing the music that inspired him, like the jazz fusion shit.
Yeah, that was cool.
I wanted to learn more about that. I guess that was an interesting part of the documentary. How like everyone kind of admits how they sold out. They're like, yeah, we wanted to do this, but we kind of just sold out and tried to make money. And that was interesting because then the documentary kind of becomes about like a whole group of people who've just settled.
Right. Yeah.
But it's interesting too that it's like it takes place like where he filmed this. Obviously it's the early 90s, but it feels like such a 90s thing. Like you jump fast forward a few years and like the biggest movies are out are like American Beauty, Fight Club, these things about like settling and how that sucks, you know what I mean? And so it's interesting to see like an actual real life example of that. Like that was the time, right? You just, I don't know.
No, that's a good it's actually a good connection right there. I almost forgot about that stuff. I do like that they established like some of their inspiration. It shows like they aren't like idiots or anything. Like this documentary really shows you like he's not a complete idiot or anything. He kind of knows what he's doing.
He just chooses to be one.
He's not like an actual racist, or he's not like an actual asshole. I mean, he's an asshole. He's an actual asshole, but like he understands why he's choosing to be an actual asshole.
I always felt bad when they cut to the interviews of his like girlfriend or whatever. He's like,
dude, the first shot of her just like her face is like, oh my god.
For real, like at first I was concerned, and then I just kind of felt bad.
Yeah.
Why would you put yourself in that situation? I guess I don't know.
Yeah. El Duce's girlfriend. Not a good title.
El Duce's girlfriend. It's like.
What do you think she's doing now?
Yeah, what do you think she's doing now?
She's probably definitely a mom.
I feel like she smokes cigarettes.
Probably. I smoke cigarettes. My El Duce's girlfriend.
No, but like you get that vibe from her.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up to say. Sorry.
It's all good.
About her, not you.
When Norby smokes cigarettes, it's cool.
It is cool.
He has a way of holding himself with the cigarette in his hand. You know that.
God. Thank you.
I want to smoke cigarettes like you, Norby.
You get around Norby and like I don't really smoke cigarettes, but at a certain point, yeah. At least Elijah, you want to. What do they say in the UK? Pop a fag.
Pop a fag. My friend hung. We were getting drunk, and oh man, it was Ben's first time smoking cigarettes, and his dad's a smoker, and they were all drunk. I was dedicated driver. Designated driver. Dedicated.
Dedicated.
But we were smoking outside the the restaurant or slash bar we were at, and we smoked a cigarette, and then Ben's like, "Oh, I kind of like this." He hates smoking weed, so it's weird that he's smoking
really?
cigarettes.
That's
He smoked one, and then we smoked another. We smoked like 4 back to back, and Hung was talking to me. He's like, "You know, ask your dad to smoke a cigarette with you." Why? It's like, why? My dad's not a smoker, and he's like, just trust me, like your dad just wants to like do stuff with you. It's like he's gonna feel so honored to have his son ask him to smoke with him. I haven't done it yet. He's probably gonna be like, fuck no. Get the fuck away from me. Yeah, she looks like she smokes cigarettes.
You ask your dad to do stuff with you, Elijah?
You guys smoke?
I smoke with my dad. My dad's a stoner.
That's fucking cool.
It is kind of cool. Like, sometimes I can just ask him, like, you want to smoke? And he's like, yeah. So,
cool.
there were, like, these guys at work. The guys at work smoke a lot.
Yeah.
And they have good weed.
Oh, yeah?
This one guy gave my dad this, like, chocolate vanilla, like, blunt.
Oh, really?
That was rolled really tight.
Yeah.
And, like, I don't know. With me, I don't always, like, get high, like, right away.
Yeah.
But I smoked that, and it's, like, right when I inhaled, like, I kind of, like, you feel like an interesting thing in your arms.
You gotta try my dad stuff. I'd like to see.
Okay,
Oh.
that sounds good.
Remember when we went moshing last weekend and Johnny brought Rusty? I'm not gonna explain this on the podcast.
That was crazy.
Is that funny? So we stayed the night at her house, and she bought us alcohol.
More than like the.
What's that?
We went to the.
More than what we
Okay,
had.
okay.
We got a Jack Daniels and some vodka. She goes to California just to buy weed.
Whoa.
Because apparently California has like some really great weed. Like
That
some,
makes
like
sense.
next level shit compared to Vegas.
That makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I had no idea. And then we were talking about it, and she's like, can you buy us some weed? And she's like, yeah. She'll give me $100. Like, all right.
I can see how like weed is like a lot of people's like favorite drug.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
so much. It's pretty.
You can
easy.
do it a lot. It's not really gonna like fuck you up too
No,
bad.
you don't vomit, really.
It's not like acid where it's like
It
extremely.
doesn't take a
intense.
whole day, or like
Yeah.
like you can smoke a joint and like kind of do other shit.
Yeah, you can also function like. I mean, I don't do it, but like people who do get to the point of being like a daily user and they can like smoke and then go to work.
Yeah,
and,
it
like-
becomes like their new foundation.
Yeah,
their new norm.
They can just do it, you know.
Yeah.
And I've like definitely done it a lot more this summer, and
Me
it's
too.
like it's just helped me like think about some things in my own life
Yeah,
in that way. And then it's just like it's pretty chill. It's something nice to do with like your friends.
yeah.
You all hang out.
It's fun, yeah.
It's fun.
It's just fun. I
It's
don't
good
You
know.
know?
for it's good for like creative stuff too.
It is,
you know,
yeah.
You can do it from like a different,
Yeah.
totally
Um,
different lens. Or,
It's like you-
Smoke and you write. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
You can kind of get like introspective from it the way like on a smaller scale than you would if it's a psychedelic too.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
I'll be blowing my own mind on weed.
Yeah,
I
dude,
smoke a
for
joint.
real, I just
I
be
feel
like,
like exactly like it's that thing where like you're comfortable being alone because like your own thoughts are like so interesting.
You're
I
your
just
own
talk to
friend. I
myself.
love that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, yeah.
I need to like pull the voice memos thing and just start saying it.
yeah,
you know what I
dude,
mean?
fucking Hunter S. Thompson it, dude.
That one night when you were talking to me and Norby when we were really high, and like I was like having a conversation with myself, just like staring into the void. And Anthony, I forget what you were talking about. You were going though. It was cool.
Dude,
That's
I
like-
love
but-
seeing Anthony go. That was so fucking cool. I at a point I just started shutting up because I just wanted to see everybody looking at Anthony and Anthony.
It's
talking.
cool.
It was so fucking cool.
I like to go. Not gonna
Yeah, I
lie.
like to go.
I don't know if I'd say I like the sound of my own voice, but I like the way it feels to say words.
We need to get like a room
I
full
know
of just
what you mean.
stoned people and just Anthony with a microphone.
Police story
The
introduction.
police story, yeah. We need Anthony to just show police story and then just pause it and just talk about it for like
And
30 minutes. Then
do like a
continue.
film analysis when we're all like really high.
Yeah.
But I probably could do a pretty good commentary.
That would be
I-
yeah.
that's
I'd like
pretty
to see
good,
that.
Yeah.
I'd like to listen to that.
Me too. I like the after Anthony left when we did the thing with the lights, like the shadow puppets. That's like some shit you can only do when you're high.
Yeah.
That was really entertaining. for
I
me.
remember that. That's bad.
We did this thing with shadow puppets where we just did like random shit for like 5 minutes. And
You're making like the dog.
I was doing that. I was doing like random stuff at first, and then you just get crazy with it, and then you stop, and then somebody else does it. Like Elijah did his own, and then Kate did her own. But like everybody had like a different style to it. It was really fucking cool. But it's like that's some shit you can only do when you're stoned.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys want to rate El Duce?
I didn't have too much to say about it, but I enjoyed watching it. You
I'm
know,
glad I watched
it was interesting for the most part, even
Yeah.
though it got a little slow during the middle.
Yeah.
I felt bad for El Duce.
Yeah.
Thought he was an interesting figure.
It's cool to learn about him.
I remember we looked it up on IMDb and there were like no ratings for it.
Very little.
And
Yeah.
that's just like kind of surprising, I guess.
Yeah.
We found the found footage movie.
Yeah. Little fun. That's pretty cool.
When you watch those special features,
I'll let you know.
I'd like
Yeah.
to check some of them out. Let me know when you want to watch the Hodorowski commentary.
Yeah.
We gotta smoke
Yeah.
for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah.
I'll bring my dad's to that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So ratings?
I think I gave it like a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
It's
that's
like a
good.
6
It's
out of
reasonable.
10.
It's reasonable.
You know.
Yeah.
What would you write for like your little Letterboxd comment?
For El Duce?
Yeah.
I'd probably try to write like a poem or something.
A poem about El
Like,
Duce.
Yeah, like
In the like style of El Duce.
I'd probably or like maybe or I'd even put like something like this guy reminds me of my dog.
Your dog.
Yeah.
Nah, Willie is what he is.
Yeah.
Willie's not gonna.
Willie's cooler.
Willie's cooler. Willie's cooler than El Duce.
Dude, thank you. Yeah,
Willie's
dude,
not trying to be
fucking
someone he's not.
Everybody loves Willie. Dude, recently Willie's been kind of scaring the fuck out of me.
Oh no.
Like I feel like I don't get to any of it.
It's
But
okay.
He's kind of scary sometimes.
Dang. Where's that dude?
And like scary in like a demonic. Like,
Oh.
Like it's kind of weird.
Oh, like the goat
Oh,
from The
okay.
Witch. Where he's-
Yeah, it's just like he'll do some like.
Dude, what if Willie's like a?
It's weird because he's like kind of smart, but he's like only smart when it comes to like not getting into trouble and like doing his own shit. It's really fucking weird. It's like.
It's like a demon baby.
It's like a demon baby. Yeah, Willie's kind of like a demon baby.
He's the bad seed.
Like he'll go and he'll steal your food, or like random clothes. Like he'll steal, woman's underwear like in the house, and like tear out only the part where the vagina was. It's like super weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, like just today I found one of his turds with like girls' underwear in it. I'm like, this dog is like really freaking me out right now. And it's like that shows like he doesn't digest like some of the stuff he eats, like clothes. It just went right through him. It was just the underwear was just right.
That's what we would be without morality.
Yeah, Willie's a lab creation, for sure. Puggles were created in the 80s. That's enough of the dog. Anthony, where would you rate it?
I'd probably give this a 91 out of like 126.
That's pretty. That's pretty good actually. I'd give it like probably like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Like it's weird because it's like solid. Like it's pretty like it's not solid, but it's like it's definitely like really watchable the whole way through.
Mhm.
And I was thinking about Transient Life. Transient Life was like a little bit different. Like I'm rating them at the same like they're both 7 out of 10s for me.
But they're like different.
They're like
7,
different
yeah.
styles,
Like, you gotta say a 7 out of 10 what?
7 out of 10. All right, 7 out of 10.
Like this Transient Life is a 7 what?
This Transient Life is 7.
7 like little Buddha statues.
That's good. I was gonna say incest babies.
Incest
baby.
I would say 7 out of 10 incest babies. Out of
7/10 of an incest baby.
Yeah, 7/10 of an incest baby. And then El Duce is let me think. El Duce. What was the name
It's
of the
like
theater?
it's like he had like 10 times to have sex.
Yeah.
And he jacked off like 7 of the times.
Yeah. What was the name of the theater he worked in again? Do you guys remember?
I'm
like
trying
the
to
sex
It was like
theater.
a porno theater, right?
remember
All
the
right,
name
7
of
out of
it.
10. 7 porno theaters out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
Um.
Do you just want to get into?
I feel like the El Duce tapes is like, it's like a good movie for what it is, but it's not like something you can like rewatch too much.
No,
But
I
it's
would
like
skim it.
That's why it's in the arrow.
Every
and
now-
not the criteria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every now and then though, like in the future, you'll have like friends over and you guys will be like stoned and be like, "Oh, what do you want to do?" And then they look through like your movie collection. And they're like, "What's this?" And it's like, "That's El Duce."
Yeah.
And then you show it to them and like, in the moment, it's like like if you find it in the moment, you're like, "What the fuck? This is cool."
You
But
just
Yeah.
load it.
Then
You
you
got a
wa-
bullet.
yeah.
you can't
ready
just
to
like
go.
say like, "Hey, check out the El Duce."
Nah,
tapes,"
nah.
you
That's
know?
like something you guys find for sure.
Yeah. That's why it's a good Zia thing too.
Yeah, because we just found it.
You know, That's how it flows. So,
My recommendations.
you want to do a normal recommendation episode?
What do you mean? Like the way we usually
Like,
do it?
yeah,
Like,
or do you
yeah,
want to
yeah.
do something?
Normal's
Okay,
good.
I'm cool with that because there's I have some movies I want to watch.
Me too.
So.
He's waiting.
Elijah's like, can we please do it this way, please? All right, who wants to go first?
I'm gonna look, but
oh,
I already have. I
shit.
think I already have my pick
I
ready.
have mine picked too.
Really? There's a new Gaspar Noé movie. We
Wait,
talked
can-
about it a little bit.
Can we watch it though, or I feel like
No, we
probably
can't.
Watch it till like next year, right?
Yeah, it probably won't come out for a little bit,
Damn.
but
Actually, no, I'm
um,
conflicted.
I'm
fucking-
conflicted.
it's with Dario Argento and it's about dementia.
Oh, cool.
And then Gaspar Noé, I think he like
He had an
almost
aneurysm.
died.
Yeah, he had something. And
You
he's
saw
like,
his,
he's just posting selfies in the hospital.
You saw his Instagram.
Yeah,
Let me look at my.
but he keeps on promoting his movie Vortex.
I kind of want to not do a screen tongue pick, like a generic. Not our movies aren't generic, but something different.
I feel like I'm choosing a very screen time movie.
That's okay.
I don't even know. what
That's
to
your
call mine.
choice.
That's your choice.
What the fuck are they listening to?
For
I'm very excited to go see what they're looking at.
I did get some Criterion movies with the sale. Do you guys like watching movies by yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to do it way more often than I do now.
I really enjoy watching a movie by myself.
Yeah, I like doing that.
Honestly, yeah, I need a good balance of both.
I feel very like, not that I don't like watching movies with people, but when I can watch it on my own, I feel like I can get more emotionally attached
Yeah,
to
me
it.
too.
There's something just like sometimes being around people. It,
Sometimes
like,
you worry if they like it.
Yeah,
you
you
know?
get a little
Little bit,
self-conscious
yeah.
about like how you're receiving the movie
Yeah.
because like you're
you'll
you're
look.
trying to catch the vibe of how they're receiving.
I know
it.
Yeah.
sometimes like I'll look at like you guys too sometimes and be
Yeah, me
like, did
too.
you guys like that?
Yeah.
You know.
Or like
it's
it always sucks whenever you're the only one you're the only one laughing. And the other person's like stone cold. It's like, oh, we're having very different experiences.
yeah. It's awkward.
Yeah. All right. Do you guys want to just like have a clean slate restarting, like choosing recommendations, like just rock paper scissors?
Yeah.
I'd rather go
I'll think.
last. I'm trying to figure it out.
All right.
I'm trying to
And,
figure it out.
Anthony, you got yours ready?
Yeah. I can go first.
Yeah, you go first. Yeah.
Alrighty, so let me pull it up real quick. So I'm gonna choose the a more recent one from 2018. Oh, shoot.
Cool.
Yeah, from 2018. But dang, now I have two from 2018 that I'm. Shit. Let me think. I'll just do this one.
What the fuck? What is Fear and Loathing in Aspen?
What?
They're making another Fear and Loathing movie.
Are you serious?
The true
That's
story of
pretty
Hunter S.
cool.
Thompson's curious, bizarre, and entertaining run to be sheriff of Pitkin County in the 1970s.
That's really cool.
Wait, a new one?
Yeah.
Who's
Who's
gonna?
Jay Bugler and Cheryl Hines.
Oh, Jay Bugler.
It
He
looks-
did the Goon movie.
Look at the. Looks like there's a trailer for it. That's
Already?
right. Yeah, look.
What?
Fear and Loathing in
Wait, who's
Aspen.
playing the
Who
dude,
directed
though?
it?
Jay Bugler, whoever that guy is. The director. Where's the director? Bobby Kennedy, the third. Wait. Okay, he did Ameriqua. Live from Infinity. It looks like he hasn't done much. He's pretty young. Alright, anyways, so I totally I'm sorry. That just really caught me off guard. Alright, what do you recommend, Anthony?
I'm gonna recommend the 2018 movie Under the Silver Lake,
Ooh,
Nice.
directed by David Robert Mitchell.
Silver Lake.
Okay.
And
Cool.
I've just had an itch to just rewatch this movie recently, and I feel like you could get a good discussion from it. So.
Fuck yeah, this looks cool.
I've heard good things about it. I actually.
Oh yeah, and you guys haven't seen it either. I like to give you thank you. movies.
A few weeks ago, I went to the library, and I remember you telling me about it, so I picked it up, and I still have it from the library. So haven't
There
watched
you
it
go.
yet. Looking forward to it.
Me
When-
too.
Now you got incentive. And yeah, it's I'm excited to see what you guys think.
I'm
about
looking. Andrew Garfield.
it.
yeah.
He's pretty good in
Under the Silver Lake. Okay. I'm gonna recommend a movie called 964 Pinocchio. You heard
What
of
the
it?
fuck?
Dude. They have it on YouTube, fortunately.
Okay.
I don't know where else it'd be possible to watch it, but look at the images for it.
964.
He also made this other
Whoa,
movie called
what?
Rubber Lover. Rubber Lover
it.
looks super cool.
Whoa. This looks cool, yeah.
964 Pinocchio. I think it's Japanese.
Yeah.
The log line is, let me read it. Pinocchio 964, a lobotomized cyborg sex slave, is thrown out onto the street by his owners because of his inability to maintain an erection. He is befriended by a criminally insane, memory-wiped homeless girl. Meanwhile, the corporate entity who manufactured and sold him plots to kill him because of his malfunction. So I hope it's at least interesting. It'll definitely be interesting. The trailer's pretty cool. I really like the trailer.
Oh, you saw the trailer?
Yeah, cause that's how I first found out about
Okay.
the movie. So I saw the trailer, and then he made another movie called Rubber's Lover, which looks really cool. It's in black and white.
.964 Pinocchio.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't see anywhere else to watch this.
Oh, this is from the 90s.
yeah, 91,
What the
1991.
hell?
I found it English subtitles on YouTube. I don't know if you could look it up. I tried looking it up on YouTube one time, it didn't show up, but I found a link.
Bless you.
Sorry. Thank you.
Whoa, this is a cool cover.
Yeah. Wow. I like the images a lot for it.
This looks creepy. This looks weird.
All right, Elijah.
It looks like a screen tongue pic, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely a screen
Oh,
time
no.
pic. Oh shoot.
Give me a second.
Fuck yeah, Anthony.
Okay.
No, just the humming.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Moral decision.
Yeah, give me a moment.
God decision.
Give me a moment.
To the young, speech to the progress toward to them. Say to the downkeepers, the sun slappers, the self-soilers, the hominy hushers. Even
Elijah.
if you are not ready for the
Elijah.
day, it
Elijah.
cannot always
Elijah. Elijah.
Flex out the work. Six up like Mike. He's out of sight. Ooh, they got me pipe. Two man like Ike. Six up the spot.
Oh.
Choosing
I
5,
know,
4,
I know,
3,
I know,
2, 1.
I'm sorry.
You don't apologize.
Yeah, don't be
Yeah,
sorry.
don't be sorry.
I want to make sure.
Don't make sure. Just
What do you
Alright.
want to watch?
yeah.
I
What do you
know,
want
I
to
know.
watch?
All right. I feel like this is a screen tongue movie.
Okay,
but
fuck it.
I don't know. Have you seen Tangerine?
Oh yes, I have.
Ooh,
Tangerine. Okay, I want to see Tangerine
Fuck.
All
by
right.
Sean Baker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
I
wait,
saw the
yeah.
Florida Project.
Have you seen the Florida Project yet?
No, I
Oh,
haven't.
dang.
I wanna
Check out
see
the
it, though.
Florida Project.
I've been
Yeah.
really want to check that one out.
That might be cool though. If you see because Tangerine came first.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like you should watch Florida Project before you watch Tangerine though.
Oh, really?
I'll probably watch
Florida
it. I'll watch
Project
them
will
both.
get you hyped up before, like I think more hyped up to see.
Oh, I
Tangerine.
really like the images for Tangerine.
Shot on an iPhone 6.
That okay? That makes sense. Yeah, that's why it looks that way.
Is Tangerine a screen tongue pick? You think? A little bit.
Kinda.
I wouldn't.
It's like a different type
I
of
wouldn't
screen
put it
tone
in the
pick.
same
Yeah.
echelon as like the Holy Mountain and shit like that, but it definitely is.
It's like our version of like Pride Month.
Yeah, our Pride Month is the last week of July.
You want to know what it was between?
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Guess.
Tangerine and let me see, Paddington.
No.
Dang.
What was it?
What's your guess? It's not. I don't know if you guys would get it. It's really stupid. It's funny.
I don't fucking Winnie the Pooh.
Blazing Saddles.
Oh my, what, dude? Can we just do a
Yeah, I
normal
get
pick
it.
this week?
I get it. Yeah. Blazing Saddles is funny.
I want to watch Blazing Saddles again though. So
All right, I think this is a good lineup.
that'll be interesting. That's a good variety.
Yeah, I think
good
so
variety.
too. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always cool too when each movie's
Like different.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
like,
like
yeah.
that.
This episode was kind of like that too.
Yeah,
Which
dude.
is,
I think my favorite reaction is definitely Holy Mountain Police Story, Beavis and Butthead Do America. And
that
Fairly
was
High.
great.
That was
a really
That was like
fun
all of those
fun-
were pretty solid and fun to watch.
Yeah.
that was a good lineup. Yeah.
There was a lot to talk about each of
Uh-huh,
those
yeah.
movies. And they were each like experiential.
Yeah,
Like,
I felt
super,
each one I
like-
had an experience with.
I'd definitely watch all those movies again.
Me too.
You know.
All right, so that's it. We're watching.
That was cool.
We're watching Under the Silver Lake, 964 Pinocchio, and Tangerine.
Yes.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh shit. Cool. Anything you guys want to say before?
Thanks,
Oh.
Norby.
No problem, Elijah.
Thanks, Norby.
No problem, Anthony.
Keep watching. Make something. Let us know about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shit. If anybody's watching this and you like to make stuff, send it to me.
Yeah.
Or Anthony or Elijah. They all follow Backcountry on Instagram.
Yeah,
Find
Donda
on
will be
Instagram.
out soon. Don't worry, everybody. It's gonna change the world.
Say something,
Uh,
Elijah.
I want to see the new M Night Shyamalan movie.
All right. I'm gonna call it there.
Sounds good. Have a good night.
This is bad country.